All right, we are live, folks. Welcome into the High Council. Submit to the High Council here on World Class Bullshitters. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and with me tonight is Tom from Midnight's Edge After Dark.
I love that opening.
I do too. I'm glad I finally remembered it. We also have Mecha Random 42.
Hello, it's all fancy. It feels so professional. It's like I'm not dressed for the occasion.
Neither am I. I wear a t-shirt, so I feel underdressed. And
that's
finally,
it, probably too. Nothing else.
No, fully dressed. Thank you. I figure at some point in time we may not need to be on camera, so I take that into consideration. And then tonight, folks, we have a very special guest, a longtime member of the Fandom Menace and a good personal friend, Anna, that Star Wars girl.
Yay!
Hello. Thanks for the invite. That intro was awesome.
Now wait a minute here, though. Jesse, you're Fandom Menace, right?
Yeah.
We have the three biggest women in Phantom Menace here right now.
Oh, look, it's me. I'm here, too. I guess I should stand up so you can hear me for a second.
Yeah, stand up so we can actually hear you.
I'm comfy. I'm surrounded by cats in my bed.
Yeah, we've been away from them for a couple of days, so they have... the one went into hiding when we were gone.
He did. I think he was feeling a little sick and he was hiding under the bed. Here we are. Woo! Ow, women. Ow, my toes. Ow.
We just created a trifecta.
Girl power! Now the internet's going to explode because there's too much women in one place.
I was going to make
Too
a...
many whammon.
Too many women. We should make a Too Many Cooks parody of Too Many Women.
This is just going to be...
It's just gonna be
the three of you guys.
It's just three women. It's just two, and it's gonna be tons and tons of guys, and everyone just the entire time is just everyone complaining there's too many women.
So tonight, folks, we're gonna start with a little controversy. Everyone in this community seems to love the hot takes, the spicy news, and we're gonna indulge tonight because there's an image going around the internet that involves all of us here in the Fandom Menace. So apparently. We are all part of an alt-right white hate group. So yes, I know it's crazy, right? I'm going to make a video discussing this a little later in the week because these people are beyond fucking stupid. But here he is, right here. So who are the Comicsgate YouTubers? And so far, I have a list in order from most white supremacist / misogynistic, toxic to least. Who am I missing? So it's an honor that I'm on this list. Clearly, I'm the most white supremacist, and I'm in the top quadrant of this. So we have the Quartering, Yellow Flash, Umbrella Guy, Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, myself, Heel versus Babyface, or as some people call him, Just Some Guy, Comic Artist Pro Secrets, aka Uncle Ethan, Ryan Cannell, Comics Matter with your boy Zach, Thinking Critical, Midnight's Edge, That Star Wars Girl, Clownfish TV, and not to be left out of the list, Mecha Random 42.
I'm surprised they remembered me. Like, I'm usually completely forgotten on things.
So, Anna, starting with you, how does it feel to be on a list?
Oh, well, now I'm actually kind of disappointed that I'm not like at the top of this list, considering how much these people like to bother me. But
I'm not even on this list at all, so don't complain.
Well, this just shows that all of the whammon they put at the bottom of the list because they don't prioritize us. So
Yeah.
I'm actually very concerned at the lack of women appreciation on this list, the lack of diversity on this list. Like,
There's so many.
You make a good point.
Well, there was another version of that where it just had that red-haired chick, and it's okay, which one? It could be me, it could be Vara Dark, it could be Geeky Sparkles, it could be any number of red-haired Fandom Menace-y sort of channels that are not
Right.
mainstream. I guess the whole qualifier here is just don't be the establishment. I guess.
I just love that Jeff is the 6th most white supremacist channel, and like only 1/4 of the channel is even white.
Yeah.
That's just, that tickles me.
Well,
Also,
that speaks
why
to their
is-
stupidity. Yeah. Sorry, go
Like,
ahead.
why is Ryan Cannell on that list, but like not Cecil? Is Cecil even on there?
Doomcock's not either.
Cecil's not on there. Doomcock's not on there. John Malin's not on there. Like Cecil and John Malin, like actual comic people, are not on there.
Right. I
like-
noticed that as well. Yeah.
How many people have actually made a comic ever?
What's also funny is
Like
that
that'd be a great.
a third of these are actually Comicsgate.
Maybe. I mean,
If
I
that-
could definitely see like Yellow Flash and Umbrella Guy kind of qualifying as that because they do independent comic
Yeah, and
coverage
obviously
and they do
Ethan.
comic
Ethan.
coverage. And Ethan, of
But, like,
course.
But that's like even like Anna, you and Jeff, you guys don't identify as comics kid.
Anna has come out several times saying that she's not comics gate. I know that.
Well,
Yeah.
it'd be disrespectful. It'd be like it. Honestly, I see it as like the equivalent of like a fake geek girl. It's like I don't really know too much about it just because my friends are in Comicsgate, and I obviously support what my friends are doing. But it's like that'd be like somebody coming in and saying, "Oh, I love Star Wars." It's like, "What's your favorite movie?" I don't know. It's like, oh, really,
All of them. I like all the Star Wars.
all of the Star Wars.
Well, it's funny that you bring this up because I'm a member of a bunch of Facebook groups, and they always say like, "Oh, people are talking about you guys." Believe me, we know what's being said more than people realize, but we're always keeping, or at least me personally, I'm always keeping my ear to the ground about stuff. And so I saw somebody today post in a group. They're like, "What is your favorite Star Wars podcast?" And somebody's like, "The Fandom Menace channels," and I just liked it and said, "You have good taste," as a joke. And then all of a sudden somebody was like, "I love those channels." And then like this big thread of all these people started to come out and like no one was talking shit about it. It's just weird how, in certain communities, they're always trying to tear down the names and act like we're these terrible people or we're this and we're that. But in reality, we're all just kind of like, we're fans of stuff. And like you said, Mecca, we're anti-establishment. And I think that's where there's going to be a disconnect for a lot of these people because we're not I'm trying to think of a good example who's like a YouTuber that's like super corporate, like a Chris Stuckman or somebody who doesn't want to say the wrong things because they want to get invited to go out and be on movie fights, or they want to be able to say, I have friends with this or friends with that. And you guys know how crazy this shit gets. I mean, nowadays people are getting phone calls talking about, where your political allegiances lie. I know we've had stuff personally where people are trying to question stuff and everyone's just always coming at us with a million different reasons. And they're all wrong and they're all kind of crazy.
Well, I got to say a few things about this list. First of all, why is the quartering at the top? Him and Ethan aren't really getting along right now, are they, Anna? Last time I checked.
I don't know.
And I'm sure he does not consider himself Comicsgate at all.
No, I don't even. He's not.
And how the fuck did you get higher than me, Jeff? I'm much more racist than you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'll vouch for that one.
I think what a lot of the stuff is with our channel is that people just don't understand. They like listen to my voice and they think of me as one way, and then they don't get it. It's like,
but also, did you don't realize? I mean, again, like this is where it just shows how out of touch people are and how utterly bigoted they are too. Like they just listen to you. I mean, how that's one of your basic racial stereotypes. Oh, you don't sound black. So they're already catching themselves in a trap of racism right away by calling you a white supremacist. Second of all, it just shows how out of touch these people are. And that's why, like, it was so interesting to me as someone who, like, prior to, knowing Ethan and knowing, Phantom Menace people and whatnot, because you heard about Gamergate first, and everyone just describes Comicsgate as like, oh, it's a more toxic version of Gamergate. And I just heard about Gamergate as, oh, it's just these, you hear about it one way because everyone talks about it one way. And then all of a sudden you're in it and you realize how utterly misrepresented it is. You realize how utterly wrong people are about it, how they just want to pick and choose. When you look at a list like this and the majority of people on the list aren't even a part of the movement that you're assigning to them.
Yeah. And the difference between us, our community, and, like the Gamergate communities, we're really involved with our fans. It's not more of I don't know how to describe it. Like the Fandom Menace isn't just like 10 creators. It's kind of the 10 creators, let's just say 10 creators and all the fans and everybody else that wants to get involved with stuff. And I think the reason why all of us have, been able to reach and have the success that we've had is because people can pick up on authenticity. And I think everyone that's a detractor, well, not everyone, but a lot of people that are detractors are just trying to run people's names through the mud and cause problems. And there's a lot of jealousy. You think a lot of people that go after Ethan are just angry because of his success? No, they're jealous because of his success. It goes every way. Even though I don't consider our channel to be anything jealous of, people are, and they want to make hit pieces, and it's happened to all of us. So it's nothing new, but I thought it was interesting that there's an actual list now that we can look at. This is over on the WDW forums, I believe the Walt Disney World Pro forums, where a lot of the Disney World leaks and rumors come out. So I thought it was
I'm actually kind of proud to be on this list, to be honest with you. I mean,
I felt happy.
I like making lists. I like to be a part of stuff. I like to be included.
Well, the thing I like is to prove all these people wrong. Because
I'm being facetious.
oh, dude, I get it. You don't look at no clarifications needed. Look at those jokes are not wasted on me. But my point is, like, I am happy to be a part of this list because I'm so happy to show these people how wrong they are.
Yeah, there's that. Plus, I'm very proud to be among these names. I know these people. You know, I got in a huge fucking argument sticking up for Jeremy the other day, and left an entire group on a DM group because I'm like, I'm not going to be around this crap. I'm sorry. I mean, I may be sounding like a little bit of a whatever, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to sit there and waste my time in a group when you sit there and tell somebody, look, I know the guy personally, and they continue to call somebody scum. It's like, no, dude, you're obviously doing it now just to be a dick. You know, it's like, I flat out told you twice, I know the guy personally, and you're just doubling down and saying worse shit now on purpose. So it's like, obviously you're just, you know, you have no idea what you're talking about. And that's a clear example of what we got here. We got people who just want to put us on a list because they don't like us. They're not. And I got to beat up Jeremy because otherwise I don't know how he got higher than me either.
Well, I mean, with the exception of some people on this list, I can either call them a friend or a colleague, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Jeremy's been a friend. I'm friends with all the guys on the show. Ethan's been a friend. Ryan's been very nice. I've only hung out with him one time, so I guess he's still a colleague. Your boy Zach, don't know him. But yeah, you guys at Midnight's Edge, obviously Anna and Mecca, we're all friends. So, and I've worked or interacted with everyone on this list, I believe, except Thinking Critical. That's the only person I think I've ever done any kind of stream or interacted with. But everyone else on this list has been cool. And the thing is, for everyone being a white supremacist group, white supremacy, racism go hand in hand. Like, why would they work with us if they're white supremacist groups? I want to know. It's all the buzzwords. And I think this user Sniffy, what happens when they use strong wording like this is they lose their efficacy. The words lose their potency, if you will. And so it's like, oh, this is racist. That's racist. Then everyone's just like, really, you used it too much. They don't take that seriously anymore. That accusation no longer holds much weight.
All they did is help me find a new channel. I don't know who Thinking Critical is either. Now I do.
That's why I'm happy to be on the list. I mean, maybe it'll send some more traction my way.
Right. Well, you know, it's like when certain other people like to pick on me and Mecca, all they do is give us more followers. So
Yeah.
Thank you, Andy. I'll read your super chat in a minute. But yeah, I agree. I'm actually making that change fairly soon. Anna, what do you think of this list as somebody who's an artist, somebody who actually produces works of art, being in this list? I know they said at the beginning you don't really like to be considered on this list. Where do you see yourself though? On like you just your own separate entity and you're just friendly with some of these people?
Like I said, or what you guys were saying, I didn't know who Thinking Critical was. I've never spoken to just some guy, but I've seen his videos and I like the videos that I've seen of his. But it's just like, hey, look, it's all my friends. And then I kind of feel bad because I'm just like, oh shit, you guys didn't get picked to be on this team, you know? It's like, we're gonna have to play against everyone else that's on the other list. But I'm honestly surprised because when I was looking at this, I'm like, how come they left out this person? Like Jesse said, like where's Cecil? Where's John? Where actually are the Comic Skate channels? Why is Zach like so far down on this list? He was like the YouTuber that started Comic Skate. It should be Zach and then Ethan.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it's interesting to see just how misinformed this user Sniffy was.
Yeah.
And I haven't really searched, but I'd like to see what the follow-up to this list would be, because it's just funny how people want to gain some traction. It's like, let's talk about these people.
It's funny, Gary's so high up there too, because he has flat out said many, many, many a times he's not Comic Skate. And I mean, yeah, he's friendly with some Comic Skaters, but that's as far as it goes.
Well, I think more so it's like, Gary owned a comic book shop, but then this is what Az says all the time, and I feel like Gary is kind of in the same boat. I'm not going to quote him on it because I don't know if he said this or not, but how it's like they're customers, they buy this kind of stuff. Obviously, Gary's not creating comic books. He used to buy them and sell them. So as far as, having that kind of knowledge, that's very important because it's not just the person that's creating it, it's the person that buys it and then sells it to people. So, I mean, I don't know what they're trying to get at with this, but I was like, okay, cool. All my friends in one spot. This is fun.
It came out at the perfect time. I mean, I just got back and I saw this list and I thought to myself, perfect way to start the High Council. Clearly, the audience is invested in this topic. So I want to give a shout out to everybody.
Someone can send me the link to this, because if you look there, it says, who am I missing? It tells me I'm sure at least 100 asshats had to come in underneath and put in their 2 cents.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, that's what I just asked Rob for the link of that, see if you could find the original post.
So we'll work on that. Thanks, Rob.
Who's going to be... Kevitenyo Shea says, who's going to be in the Comicsgate movie? I think we should all play ourselves.
I know.
So I wanted to address a couple of the super chats because they're very topical on this. And I know, look at folks, the entire show tonight was not going to be about this list. Obviously, we can talk about anything you guys want, but I just wanted to address a couple of these. So first off, Space Monkey 0899, thank you very much. Arc Warhammer email campaign is successful. Could we do a similar campaign for anime, comics, and movies? Space Monkey, if we can figure out what's trying to be done in said community, of course. I mean, realistic people coming together to want to create change and entertainment is a possibility. It's always going to be met with crazy people on either side, the makers of these lists. But I mean, if we boil it down to a lot of our channels on this list are reactions to The Last Jedi or comics or things like Ethan's channel started out with him talking about artwork, doing artwork, drawing. And so I used to subscribe and watch way back when your boy Zach, because your boy Zach was always my daily videos that I would watch. I would do stuff for our then really floundering, flourishing channel. And I'd watch his videos and they talk about Ethan.
We got the list.
Oh, I got the list now.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Can you pull up the screen? I'm going to read a couple.
I'm going to do that. Go ahead and finish up the super chats.
Okay, we got quite a few actually. So
as many as you can here anyway.
I want to give a quick shout out to our friend Tim Riggs as well as Swinging Cod for your mega generosity. I mean, I can't believe it already, guys. So thank you very much. But Space Monkey 0899, I'm all about that. Email campaigns. We just got to see them. I don't call for quotation marks. Boycotts. But I am always interested in, community's voices being heard. Dr. Coffinail says, Anna's on and I'm going to miss it. Sorry, it's my wife's birthday and I'm already in the doghouse for following Witten. Please be on High Council again.
Oh, Witten.
Okay, Dr. Coffinails, anything for you, buddy. Let's see. The Waltman 4, thank you very much. He says, update. Judge rules against Patreon. They have to pay for the arbitration fees for 100 people who filed. 10K at best per person. Plus Mulan on VOD confirmed. The Waltman, we will talk about the Mulan stuff in a little bit, few minutes. That is one of the topics we are going to cover tonight. But I do want to thank you about letting me know about the Patreon stuff. That's why we did start our Subscribe Star, and we've moved over to other platforms. I know a lot of us here do extra stuff on Patreon, and it sucks that certain things are going down with it because it's very, in terms of user accessibility, I don't know their politics, but user accessibility, they do offer a platform with some good stability. So but whatever the alternatives for the audience, we're going to be there. So Fat Steven Seagal beat up Brian Johnson says, Bree and shout Bollywood dance party style.
As far as the Comicsgate movie goes, I think everybody should play themselves except for Cecil. Cecil should be played by Danny DeVito just because.
Not a bad choice. Not a bad choice at all. A Swinging Cod, thank you very much. He says, Jeff, drink. Anna, show your butt. Tom, laugh awkwardly. Mecca, how does it feel to be Comicsgate?
It's interesting. It's very interesting. I'm going to disappoint a lot of people when they see all Star Trek and Brie Larson videos.
I was going to say, not only that, she owns all of 2 comics that were given to you?
I have one.
Yeah. Sorry, folks.
And it's Archie.
She has an Archie comic. That's it.
Yeah, because I collected Archie as a kid, and I sold them when I was like 12. That's okay. That's okay. We'll reform Archie and make it in my image or something. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I'll help. Anna and I are artists. Well, just for you.
We'll make our own Archie with hookers and blackjack.
Well, they kind of already did a new Archie. It's called Riverdale, and it's terrible.
It looks terrible. I don't want to watch it. It looks awful.
Don't do it.
I might have to for the channel, though.
Well, we're going to watch Basmati Blues, right? So
yeah, Mecca recommended that.
It's so funny. Oh, I laughed so hard until I couldn't breathe. It's a musical.
You couldn't breathe?
I couldn't breathe without Brie. She's singing.
That's an old callback.
Lady, and she rides in on a white horse to save everybody.
For those real quick, I did a song on Midnight's Edge After Dark because she had an ex-boyfriend who was a wannabe songwriter or something like that. So I wrote a song called "I Can't Breathe Without Brie" when they broke up. And we used to play it all the time.
Oh, I wanted to say something, Tom, since the super chat from Swinging Cod said to drink. This Saturday, the boys over on World Class Bullshitters are doing the Beverly Hills Cop live stream. It's going to be at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Tom, we're trying to get you on if you're available.
I will be there.
Okay, you'll be there then. Cool. It's official, 100% official, folks. So this Saturday, I guess it's 4 p.m. Eastern time. Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2 back to back, and it's going to be a fun time. And we are drinking, so I'll have beers on camera, and you guys can play along, and we'll quote the movie. It's going to be one of those kind of streams. It's going to be a stream where we're not ripping apart the movie. We're just going to have a lot of positive things to say, but it'll be fun. Believe me, I'm going to try not to talk about the music too much. Believe me, Jesse knows, right?
Mm-hmm. not to change the topic, but Gina Carano is getting absolutely eaten alive by these psychos on Twitter telling her she has to say Black Lives Matter or else she's a racist, because she did a post saying that if you call somebody a racist without doing your research, it's, she's basically saying you guys are just projecting, and now they're all losing their fucking minds.
Oh my God, what happened to innocent until proven guilty? That's the way we're supposed to operate. You don't just go around saying, assuming everyone. We've flipped everything on its head. Oh, let's just assume everyone's a racist until they prove they're not. Sorry, that's not how society works. That's not how everything works.
Witch, you're a witch.
Oh, haven't you heard lately? If you're white when you're born, you're automatically racist.
Well, then there's no solving it. So we're done. We fixed it. Move on. You can't fix it.
Exactly.
Yep.
I'm white, therefore I'm racist, therefore cool. Why are we trying to change this? If I can't help it and I'm always going to be, what's the point?
Exactly.
Yep, that's what Mecca. I loved your tweet earlier when you said that. That was amazing.
Let me read 2 more of these super chats. Actually, I want to get to Tim Riggs, because Tim Riggs, thank you very much, and Swinging God. I'm going to read those both right now. But I will read these. First, Tim Riggs says, "All hail the High Council. This summer has been ludicrously busy work, and the entertainment I get from literally every channel on that list, and several missing, has been a point of light in these dark times. Thank you all for everything you do."
Phrasing.
But no, Tim, thank you very much. Tim's the guy, folks, that we always talk about coming to conventions, bringing the tequila, hanging out. We went downtown Cincinnati last time, went bar hopping. Tim's a cool dude. So, Tim, thank you very much for your the generosity to the channel, but for watching all of us, because we really appreciate you guys. Right now, it's usually slow in the summer for a lot of YouTube. Plus, we've been hearing about these lists of people that are trying to, tear our channels down. So it's interesting to see what this will become.
What?
Yeah,
I haven't heard about a list of people.
I'll talk to you later about it then.
Oh.
And then, it's nothing I'm keeping hidden from you guys on the panel, I'll tell y'all. And then Swinging Cod, thank you very much for your super chat. He says, remember, Comicsgate was originally created by Heather Ontos, Tess Fowler, and various other SJW pros. They labeled those that disagreed as Comicsgate, trying to link them to Comicsgate. It wasn't until EVS and some others owned it and ran with it that it became a movement. We're all Comicsgate now. Swinging Cod, thank you very much for the super generous super chat. I do remember the Milkshake Girls crew. Do you guys remember that early Comicsgate stuff?
I had no idea what that was until when my Vampirella cover came out. Somebody tried to insult me with saying, "Oh, you're a milkshake girl," and I was like, "I like milkshakes, but I don't know, like what?"
Yeah,
I thought they were making a reference to like the milkshake song. So that joke went over my head, and I still don't know the entire situation with that, but.
Anna, all it is that a couple of Marvel Comics editors got together in solidarity, and I'm using quotations there, air quotes, to talk about comics. And all they were is at a milkshake shop talking about how they're going to change the world of comics. So your boy Zach labeled them the Milkshake Girls because they're a bunch of people that work in comics that know nothing about them.
That's false advertising. Last time I knew a milkshake girl was a chick who shaked her boobs.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought the reference was, not what Jeff was saying.
I'm sorry it's not as cool, but so folks, I will read every super chat tonight. I want to thank everyone for the generosity, no matter the amount. I appreciate it, but I mean, something like that I did want to address. Thank you, Swinging Cod, as well as Tim. But there's more to this list.
Yeah.
So Tom, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you to Rob for finding this. So this is, of course, the original list. And then, of course, a bunch, as I figured, people had to start chiming in. And the list gets a little bit longer, I believe, down the way here. They add Young Ripa.
Younger, but as the number 2 white
Number 2, no
on their
less.
list.
Yeah.
Oh my! Have they never watched? Someone just sent this along. They're like, "Oh, it sounds racist." Did you even click on this? Do you even know who this person is?
Sniffy, what are you sniffing?
It's glue.
It's definitely glue. And then we have Aiden Paladin. I'm not sure who that is offhand. Sorry.
Aiden is awesome, but she loves comics. She's actually like very well versed in them because she reads them avidly. But her channel isn't about comics. It's about psychology. She does a video essay formats, kind of like Mahler. That's actually how I found her, is because she was on EFAP.
Oh, okay. All
They're
right.
barking up the wrong tree if they want to mess with Aiden.
Here we go. Well, that's what they're doing. Appa Bend.
Oh, I know Appa Ben. That dude is where's he from? He's from country like Malaysia or somewhere. He's I don't get he's not the dude's cool. I used to watch his videos every day. So I don't get
Irony.
Classic racist. He's definitely part of the race problem in America.
Well, just some guy's not white either. I know we didn't say that before, too. Dan Fan.
never heard of him.
That's not one I'm familiar with either. Tyrone Magnus.
He is not Fandom Menace or Comic Skate, is he? I thought that guy hated us.
I was going to
I
say,
don't
yeah.
know. I've never heard of half of these new channels. Like
Mm.
Young Ripa and Aiden are the ones I know.
And Leanna K. The K stands for Karen? Question mark.
Nah,
Oh, they're trying to be funny.
I love how they're trying to appropriate Karen and they don't understand the irony is they are Karens.
They are the Karens.
Yeah.
I need to make a video being more toxic so I can make this list. Apparently, I'm not toxic or racist.
You're not
I
talking
think-
about toxic
I think
brood?
you just need to stream with Ethan once. Or not even stream with Ethan once, but like be on a stream where you say his name and the wrong person is listening to that stream and you make this list.
But Ethan's been on my channel repeatedly, and I
Yeah.
his. I don't understand. I've been to his
Yeah.
house. I know where
So
he
then,
lives.
in other words, what we do is we all meet to like, do our plotting at Jesse's. We all plot at Jesse's.
Clearly,
Because
all
they
you're
are
doing
so
is plotting.
afraid
Come
of
over to my
Jesse.
entertainment.
Evidently,
Not
I think
toxic.
I
Not
think it's
under
because
scrutiny by these people.
I
Apparently,
think they're afraid of you. I think you're right, Jesse. The
Yeah.
fourth snake is added to that. I'm not sure who that is either. I apologize.
me neither. But I
And
do.
the
That is
fourth
my.
age.
They're just too fucking. They know I'm smarter than them right off the bat. And they're like,
And
"Ooh."
MJ Tanner.
They probably actually think I'm gay, and that's why they don't mess with me.
Between that and probably your scuffle with Jeremy, they probably think that he fired you already anyway.
But I never had a scuffle with Jeremy.
I know. I remember that whole thing. Everybody's like, fire!
Jeremy, I still have to send. I'm supposed to send him a 30-second video so he can just put it at the end of his next Geeks and Gamers video, just saying, "Hey, I'm back, bitches," and just.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's so hilarious.
It's
Well,
so funny.
Okay, that's it.
I should say it's so ironic too, because I bet that's it. Like that's it because I'm a woman and I look gay. If they assume I'm gay, that gives me enough qualifiers, to officially not be toxic, to have that minority virtue cancel out my inherent racism. But the ironic part is that I am not. I'm gladly, I've always talked about the penis. Meanwhile, we have an open bisexual who is still apparently Mecca is still more toxic than me.
Well, you didn't make the list because
That's a clear point.
you make out with a black guy regularly on your stream, but they're just not aware that it's the same black guy that's on World Class Bullshit. That's that ignorant.
To be fair, Tom, there are a lot of her listeners that don't realize I'm the same guy.
That's also
I can get it, like if they don't see you, but your voice, you have one of the most distinct fucking voices on YouTube, man. Like I hear your voice, it's like I instantly know it's you.
he doesn't talk on my streams. He just sits there waiting for me to be done so we can bang.
I know
Yeah,
who Tyrone Magnus is. He actually, his channel has over 1 million subs. He, I guess he mentioned me in a live stream one time and somebody sent it to me, but I'm not too familiar with his content, but he likes Star Wars.
Yeah, I think because Tyrone Magnus and that Liana lady, Liana K, because they don't like here's the thing, it's I don't like The Last of Us 2, you're in Comicsgate. That's the thing. I don't think Comicsgate is the right phrase for all the channels. Yeah, maybe Fandom Menace or maybe something else, because all it is it just boils down to you're gonna put this agenda crap in your entertainment and we're not gonna eat it up. It's like we were bestowed a pair of sunglasses from They Live and we can call them out on their bullshit. And they don't have a better vocabulary to attack people or to try to tear us down. So they just throw the most hate-filled and bad words at us, and they think, oh, this will shut them up. They don't want to be called toxic or racist. And it's like, we just don't give a shit anymore. Like, stop.
Can you highlight Lorena's super chat there?
Yeah, just a second ago.
Yeah, it was like just one or two above that. There you go. Wait a minute. I'm on the Toxic Femininity Show on Midnight's Edge channel, and it's a white supremacist, misogynist channel. She clutches her pearls. Yeah. Yeah, we have the premier female show on YouTube.
Yeah. Owned by a guy in Norway.
Owned by a guy in Norway. And yes, Rob, don't worry. Pope Bob Iger falls under the Midnight's Edge umbrella. You're definitely racist. We know you're racist.
Yeah, you're under twice, Rob. You're under Midnight's Edge and on my channel.
I'm just loving this list, dude, because everyone in the chat's like just tearing this list apart. It's hilarious to me.
No, Doomcock they're pointing out. Yeah, where's Doomcock on the list? Literally, his name is literally a penis reference.
Listen to this one. MJ Tanner only reviews Captain Marvel and the Wonder Twins comics. Why are they on the list?
I don't know. What were you saying, Anna? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying it's blowing my mind. Like, they keep adding Comicsgate channels, but they're missing like main Comicsgate channels. Like, they don't have Cecil, they don't have John, they don't have Frege. I don't think they realize that everyone in Comicsgate has a channel, so that way they can promote their comics, and they're trying to build their channels. And they haven't put a single Comicsgater, well, aside from like Ethan, Yellow Flash, Tug, and your boy Zach. That's it. Like, even Literature Devil. I think Devil, he has over 100,000.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
He was on here once.
Yeah, he's as Comicsgate as it comes. He's not on this list. Like, what on earth are they doing? They don't even do their research.
I don't know if I should do my Literature Devil laugh or not, but no, I agree with you 100%. And like you guys were just saying before, the Phantom Menace makes a little bit more sense because it's a bit wider spread. Like, you can, like, the definition falls like over so many more things, and you can say somebody's Phantom Menace and they may not even say they are or think they are, but just the way they conduct themselves, they're like, oh yeah, you're definitely Phantom Menace. It's more of it's not even so much of a label as a hashtag as it is just a mentality, a way of life, a way of thinking. And all it really is that the customer matters and that they shouldn't be telling the customers what to think. That's what the Phantom Menace is all about. Comicsgate
movement,
kind of, yeah. On the other hand, though, Comicsgate is a specific group of people, like Anna's saying. Like, they are people who are either in the comic industry and now on the outside, or they're people who are doing their own independent thing aside of the comic industry. And they are specifically, these type of people that have done the like, well, I'm on that list. Does that mean I get to make a comic now or what? I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Like, hell, I might as well. I mean, not like I haven't thought about it, but no, but I get exactly what you guys are saying. And I think you guys and Anna are completely right on this definition here. Now, if this was a Phantom Menace list, it would make more sense.
Exactly. And that's what I think this person must be very mentally challenged in a nice way of saying it, because I think that they're very confused. I think that they think it's like they went to the store to buy Coca-Cola and they came home with Pepsi, and they don't understand why mommy and daddy are mad that they got Pepsi instead of Coke.
Hold on, I would use RC Cola because that's just a big step.
I don't know what that is.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, see, over in the West Coast they don't have that shit so much. Because I went out, even down in Vegas, I'm like, what? You guys have never heard of Sundrop? It's by the same company.
Well, we had worked in Vegas for a while. They just stopped selling it in Vegas after a while.
A few of them, but yeah, they didn't have some of the 7-Up products. But yeah.
I maybe on my Patreon or some other list, I'll go on and give my 7-Up horror stories, dude. Talk about a summer job that was a nightmare.
You better not make me hate Sundrop.
The only thing I can make you hate is the fact that I used to get it for free.
Oh, you dirty bastard!
I know you. If you went up to the plant any day of the week, they'd call you in to be like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" I'm like, "Fine." They're like, "We just wanted to talk." I'm like, "Oh, I don't live anywhere near here. Can I go home?" But they would always let you. They had a cooler full of shit. You could just walk in and take whatever you wanted. So it was nice. But apparently, this thing is 9 pages long, and there's all these lists and all this stuff.
Yeah, we're not gonna keep going on this too much longer.
I find this very interesting that this is a thing, but I'm happy that they're talking about us, because the fact that they're talking about us means that we're doing something right. And yeah, there might be People want to tear us down, but all this is just free advertisement. It's like, oh, I've never heard of these channels, but I like Nerdrotic. And then they, I don't know, they click on us and they realize, oh, Jeff streamed with Gary a handful of times. They're all cool. So, all it does is help us. It's like Freddy Krueger. Once they stopped talking about him, then he went away. But these people can't stop talking about us because the takes that we have on, no one's favorite piece of entertainment seems to be more popular than the entertainment itself. So, when we had videos about Brie Larson, they have better views than videos from Brie Larson. So it's just funny how there's this concerted effort to try to shut us up.
I mean, it does sound like some people with half a brain did finally chime in here eventually on a few things. But yeah, this is 9 pages long. Midnight's Edge still pains me.
Yeah, you guys are the most centered one.
Right-leaning circle jerk of hate, which is funny because we're made up of a Norwegian and 2 guys who are so centrist. And actually, I'm not even going to say what Rob, it's just because, but it's like we're so centered. Yeah. Oh my!
I call out their fake woke shit and tell them how they can actually be woke and actually
like that one guy who kind of broke down what Comicsgate was about, sort of had the right idea, but didn't quite get there. And then here we go. Comicsgates were never a spin-off of Game. Yeah, they even tried saying it was a spin-off of Gamergate at some point in this thing too.
They don't have any of the same people.
No, I know, right? And some of the people that were involved with Gamergate, we're not even going to get into that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that man. He is Voldemort, or Vlodimort, as they say in My Immortal.
Voldemort?
Dude, we got to do. Have you ever heard of My Immortal?
Yeah, I think so.
The Evanescence song?
No, the fan fiction.
Yeah.
And Anna, have you heard it?
No.
Okay, I want you to join us on a stream. I want you to be a part of the reading of it. We'll do a live one. We've never done it live. Your brain will break with the fact that this is considered English. It's the worst written piece of fan fiction ever.
You can't make Anna read it out loud, though, because she's already dyslexic. If you try to make her read not real words out loud, it's going to be impossible. It's already...
No, what if I read it? My dyslexic ass makes it make sense.
Man, that'll be hilarious. You're gonna look at it and be like, "What the fuck is this?" Because you already have to sit there and try to make sense of the shit that you're seeing, and you're gonna be trying to make sense of it. And you're like, "This just doesn't." It's your brain's gonna explode because it's gonna try to reconcile these sentences, and it's just not gonna happen.
What is it a fan fiction of?
Yes,
Harry Potter meets Twilight, right?
Oh fuck no! No,
it's mostly just Harry Potter. Sorry, I've never seen Twilight.
Just Harry Potter. Except that the main character is also obsessed with My Chemical Romance.
Ebony, Dementia, Darkness, Raven Way.
Yeah.
Sounds like they want the link in the chat, so I'll share that real quick for the comics thing, since we're probably going to be moving on here anyway.
Yeah, and like I said, folks, go look at that list, laugh. I'm going to bring this up on Thursday night's podcast at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I want to hear... The thing is, World Class Bullshitters, yes, we're part of the Fandom Menace. I'm friends with most of the people on the list, friends with everybody on this panel, including the lady sitting next to me. But my point is, the guys, our podcast is only a quarter white, and it just makes me laugh that we still get lumped into this. So come back on Thursday night to hear Kendo, the only white guy on the show's take, as well as Nick and Dion's. And it'll be interesting to shut these people down. I welcome.
Definitely not one to miss.
Yeah, it's definitely not one of us. We've been on a roll as of late. We've been beating the High Council numbers, dude. So it's been pretty crazy as of late.
So Jesse is mentioned on page 4 here. I'm looking right now. I just
there you go.
Yes. Is it just?
I didn't see it yet. I was looking here.
Wait, send me the link to this. I wanna see it.
It's in the private chat there.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'll send it to you guys.
I'll send it to her right now. But let me read a few super chats before we roll on, because we do have quite a few topics. One about Star Wars toys, so it'll be interesting to hear Anna's take on that.
Mm-hmm.
So first off, we have our friend Swinging Cod. We read his. Pudding Tang 2 says, you know who else was big on the list? The Yahtzees.
Yeah, they were pretty big on lists. That's a good point.
Speaking of Yahtzees, the Illinois Yahtzees, Tom, I showed Jesse the Blues Brothers for the first time.
Oh, I hate fucking Illinois Nazis.
Yeah.
Fucking Illinois Nazis. God damn it. The worst. Almost as bad as the real thing.
Deadeye, you do have our next topic that we'll talk about. from Disney is planning to charge $30 for Mulan on Disney Plus. EA has competition. Deadeye, we will talk about this. I don't want you to think I'm brushing over your super chat.
No, we got a lot to say about. Well, at least I do.
That as well, it's a topic. It's funny. The Fandom Menace show. People are like, "Oh, what is the High Council?" Star Wars show. To a degree, we also cover a lot of Disney, especially this year, where they're. I don't know how to describe 2020 for Disney. So just stick with us for a few moments, folks. Tim Riggs, thank you very much again. I will reread it. He says, "All hail the High Council. This summer has been ludicrously busy. Work and the entertainment I get from literally every channel on that list, and several missing, has been a point of light in these dark times. Thank you for everything you do." Well, Tim, as always, thank you very much, and we appreciate you, man.
Thank you for listening.
Fat Steven Seagal beat up Ryan Johnson says, "I love Star Wars. My favorite is The Search for Spock."
I love you, Fat Steven Seagal.
Oh my god, I should too. He's my.
Did you guys see
favorite,
the Perry Chan video for him yet? You guys got to check that out. Perry Chan did a video for Fat Steven Seagal, his origin story. It's hilarious.
Oh, dude, you got to link it to me. I want to watch anything about Fat Steven Seagal. Fat Steven Seagal is the 2020 version of Darth Vader's disembodied charred phallus.
I'll send you the link for
that. Tim Riggs says, proudly supporting white supremacist anti-women channels created by black men with girlfriends and wives since 2015. Thank you, Tim Riggs. I'll make sure I send that message over to Dion as well. Andy Lee says, it just means Jeff needs to be on camera more. Andy, I do plan on, I have a response video to this list, and I'll be on camera, so be prepared. It's going to be something we've never done before. Hope you guys like it. Dale says, don't feel bad, Jeff. I'm a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white guy. Nobody thinks I sound black either.
Look at Jay. Everybody thinks he's black. Yeah. That's what's funny. I don't know if Drunk's still in the chat, but yeah, he gets that all the time.
Swiggy Cod, thank you very much for your super generosity, man. He says, remember, Comicsgate was originally created by Heather Antos, Tess Fowler, and the other various SJW pros. They labeled those that disagreed as Comicsgate, trying to link them to Gamergate. It wasn't until EVS and some others owned it and ran with it that it became a movement. We're all Comicsgate now. Mm-hmm. So, Swinging Cod, thank you very much. Just wanted to give that history lesson again to the audience. My friend Infinite Wonder says, won't be able to make Thursday's show since I'll be on vacation, but I want to ask, any updates on getting Arch Warhammer on? I'm going to send out the word. The invite is still open, Infinite Wonder. Hopefully you, first off, enjoy your vacation and have fun. But yeah, I'm going to send the word out and try to get Arch Warhammer on in August, maybe on the High Council. Well, he's European, I believe, so it might have to be one of those international High Council shows. But I definitely would want to make that happen. So just keep sending in your recommendations, folks. We've worked our way through a lot of them this year. We had Young Rippa, we had the Dark Council, we had As Heel versus Babyface, Critical Drinker, quite a few other YouTubers that you guys have requested. So just keep watching, keep recommending it, and we'll keep making it happen.
Next week we got John Talks coming. I'm working on a few things coming up too. I know that. So
yeah, the High Council just keeps getting better, Tom. I'm excited.
And of course, Anna tonight, which is amazing. She did it at the last minute, so we have to thank her so very much for that. But I couldn't have asked anybody better to be here considering the topics. Is what I'm trying to set out.
Oh, thank you.
Barney the Spaceosaurus Woke Reek says, speaking of racism, I highly recommend watching a video called When Wokes and Racists Actually Agree on Everything. I had seen this on Facebook pop up, and I didn't get a chance to watch. Tell the audience about it, Anna.
Oh, well, it's this comedy piece where there's one dude in a racist shirt and the other one in a woke shirt, and they're talking about things that they feel about life, and it turns out they agree on everything. Like that a black person deserves their own. Basically, you remember back during the 60s when
Jim Crow.
People fought against segregation and stuff. Well, now it's like a woke thing where because you have a black person needs their special, water fountain because they're black and they need their own water fountain separate from everyone else. And the racist is over here saying, I feel the exact same way. And it's fun. And they become the bestest of bestest friends.
Oh.
You should watch it.
I think we've watched it on a few different channels. Yeah,
we'll watch. You want to watch it before
Jesse? How have you not seen it? You would have loved it.
You haven't seen it?
I don't know, but I will. I'm sure I will love it. That sounds amazing.
I'm trying to remember. Do you have a link to it, Anna? Because I can't.
I can pull it up right now. Give me a second.
Later on, hopefully this week, I'm going to be unveiling our line of racially responsible face coverings. Let's just put it that way. I'll leave it at that. We wouldn't want Jeff getting mistaken for a real black person and shot by the police while he's out there. Will we?
I don't know if we're gonna try. I just put the link to it in the chat or the private chat, but I feel like we could watch this. I'm not sure.
I know I've been on I can't remember what podcast, if it was on Friday Night Tights or one of them. They show it all the time.
Okay.
It might be Comics Division too. I can't remember which one it is. I do so many podcasts. I don't remember. I don't think it's ever been a problem for anybody.
Oh yeah,
When
it's like
do you
pause
sleep,
it every
dude?
few seconds and talk over it. That's what I usually do when I show footage.
We'll break it down Zapruder style because we broke down the thing in Toontown. We'll talk about it in just a second. Let me read a couple more of these. First off, Tim Riggs says, Game Facts message boards. I get more accurate information from the X videos comment section. Scrib Eye Steak says, Hail the High Council. The fact these nutters have to make a list and draw battle plans in hidden channels is just proof of how incestuous and duplicitous they all are. The sad thing is, works for now. It does work for now, but hopefully that pendulum that we talked about last week with Young Ripa, Scrib Eye Steak, is going to swing back. And a lot of people want the pendulum to swing back. I'm cautiously interested. I won't say cautiously optimistic, but it's going to be interesting for the next couple of years to see where the culture shifts and how long it takes each pendulum swing to take place. Long story short, there's a lot of content coming from a lot of people. And I'm going to read this one from Greg Kirby, and then we're going to move on to our little video. He says, why is Brie Larson not on that list as number one? Well,
toxic people.
Yeah, we dropped a taco.
Wait, you know what's funny though? If you read someone trying to make a correction, they're sitting there thinking they're making a correction, being like, Clownfish TV are never part of Comicsgate, blah blah blah, and they're like, blah blah blah. This person actually points out just some guy is black. Mecha Random 42 is a lesbian / bisexual, and Yellow Flash is married to a black woman. They don't point out the fact that Young Ripa is also black though, which is like it's hilarious. Like, how do you miss that one? Like, how do you not read the name Young Ripa and assume that he's almost certainly black?
Because they're ignorant and they don't watch the shit. They probably just see the names come up on like Friday Night Tights or on here, and they just throw them up there. Yeah,
because then they would be racist themselves. It's in their little recircle because they have to just block us. They have to be in their own little bubble.
and like Anna was pointing out, they can't be watching the actual Comicsgate channels, or they would actually see these people that should be on the list besides Ethan and stuff like Cecil and whatnot. It's like
somebody rearranged the person who did that rearranged list that you guys were looking at, where it said combo breaker and whatnot, and then it had like the split in the list.
Yeah.
The person writes the ones I put on the whole bottom tier. I consider safe / non-triggering / family-friendly channels, which are more comedic or informative without incendiary content. They put Anna and Mecha Random on that list, which to me just sounds like, oh, you're putting the women on there because they're family-friendly and not incendiary. I'm like, clearly you've never listened to their videos.
Mecha's definitely not family-friendly.
You are very incendiary, and that's why I love you.
So I think that he switched the top of the list.
But
no. I was like, cool, we got taken off. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like, why? Midnight's Edge, y'all are also apparently not incendiary. And your boy Zach, Clownfish TV. It's just like so arbitrary.
Now,
It's so fucking arbitrary.
one thing we keep getting comments about, they'll strike it for showing
they
it.
claim it or they strike it. That's the
I don't
thing.
know. Nerd Rock got hit for showing it.
Oh, okay. Then that's where I see.
Yeah,
this
you could probably
Friday
just
Night
like
Tights.
still freeze frame then if they copy claim it.
Yeah, we'll just share the link in the chat if people want to check it out. Then
Yeah, just share the link. I just don't. Right now, the way YouTube's been treating me
I won't
specifically,
share.
the last thing I want to do is
yeah.
get struck because it's like, hey, put out videos, go down a bunch. That's okay.
well, there you go, folks. You can check it out if you want to. We won't chance it here then. If Jeff doesn't want to, then
Mecha is most family friendly.
that's where I was like, "What? Mecha is definitely not family friendly."
Really? Did they say that about me?
That's
They
what
were
somebody in the chat just said. Oh. Yeah. No. Jesse said when they redid the list, they put you under the family friendly section.
Oh. Yeah, sure. This is why I think they just confuse everybody. They don't even watch it or pay attention. Like, seriously.
Before we get into the Mulan stuff, I just wanted to share this real quick because our friend, and by friend I mean friend of no one, Brie Larson, is finally doing the thing that we all swore she would do. So Brie Larson gives it back to haters on YouTube. If you don't like it, keep your comments to yourself. Have you guys seen these articles popping up?
I haven't seen the article, but I've been using the clip.
Keep your
Mecca's trying to
comments
kill
to
herself.
yourself.
You all right? All right, we lost Mecca.
She must have dropped something.
She
I
dropped.
just knocked everything off my desk. Sorry.
Oh,
She
she
just
muted it.
and
I dropped it onto the mute thing. No, I've been seeing. Yeah, I've been using that clip. The if you don't like it, keep your comments to yourself. And then I ridicule her, say, Brie, don't you talk like crap to my viewers. And then I get out the writing crop because yeah, I haven't seen the article, so it's short enough to use as a meme.
I just, we went back, Kendo and I, that's the we I'm talking about, excuse me. We did our old video series comment slam. That'll be coming out this week. And we read some of the comments on the first video. Obviously, people were saying, who do you want to interact with? And we responded with, join the High Council. Clearly, she'll never join because it's Brie Larson. But I did notice that we're blocked for responding to her directly on YouTube. I have that in the video. So if you want to watch us get blocked by Brie Larson, go ahead. Because it's like, what have you said to Brie Larson, Jeff, on YouTube? Nothing. What have you said about Brie Larson on YouTube? Everything. Now, Anna, you have had an interesting take on Brie Larson. How do you feel about her YouTube channel in general?
I'm glad that she's providing jobs for people during this pandemic, that her entire team of camera people, hairstylists, makeup artists, professional editors, an entire PR team. I'm glad.
don't forget her trainer. Don't forget her trainer. Her trainer.
And the
really
trainer,
has been working on her for more than one fucking video's worth.
the trainer who got paid to do all of this shit for her. I'm happy that she's at least providing jobs. She created jobs where jobs didn't exist. So she did one thing good. I'm happy that she has finally gotten on her own platform. So she's not like infiltrating Star Wars or Marvel. She's doing it in the comfort of her own rented home. So at least I'm like, you know what? Props for that. But oh my God, again, to her PR team, they probably have white hair from the amount that they have to edit and try to keep this woman reeled in. But also, it's just kind of confirming everything that I've said, that all of us have said. And it's kind of, the cherry on top of everything during this pandemic, We just get to watch her make a fool of herself, and we don't have to do a single thing. We just sit back and watch.
I would like to tag onto something on that, Anna, that you mentioned that I've noticed too. Brie Larson is a real gratitude issue in terms of giving credit where credit's due to her team. Because she doesn't credit any of the team in the actual. She doesn't like run credits on the video itself. And she's very selective in who she credits down below. Like I noticed, one of the first ones, like makeup and hair and the trainer were credited, but then on the next one, only the, makeup was like one of the a different person was credited, or maybe none of them were. And it reminds me of when she came out. It was like, I did all my own stunts, even though she had a stunt coordinator, stunt double credited for her. So what is with this issue with her obsessively wanting to take credit for things she didn't even do?
Well, see, I don't even think that's her. I don't think that she uploads it. I don't think she titles it. She doesn't make her thumbnails. Also, since we're on this topic, I pointed this out, and people are like, Anna, you're stretching. I'm like, no, it only just confirms with her last video. Let me get back on the screen. If you have her channel pulled up, look at her thumbnails. There is something that stands out about one of the thumbnails that's different than the rest. And I pointed this out on Twitter, and you're like, Anna, you're just stretching. And I'm like, no, look. Go look now that she added her other video. Funny how it's different now.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up for you right now.
Yeah, we'll let everyone in the chat guess what I'm talking about, but it's funny. But I mean, at this point, this woman, told an entire gender, race, and age group. I'll give you guys a minute to figure out while I finish this point on if you guys can spot what's different about one of the thumbnails in one of the videos. But she told an entire gender, ethnicity to go fuck off, that their opinions don't matter on a movie about a 40-year-old white dude that has a half black, half white daughter that's trying to find him. and that got men that potentially could be in their 40s, that potentially could have children, going and seeing this movie to go fuck off, that their opinions don't matter. So now it's like, all right, well, I guess the support for Captain Marvel doesn't matter. The support for your channel doesn't matter, Brie, because you told everyone to fuck off. Yeah, and look at the numbers. And can anyone spot what is different about one of the thumbnails?
Not particularly offhand, other than the third one there. She actually looks like she has makeup on.
That is accurate. But
Well, the Animal Crossing one,
I don't think
believe,
that's it. Yeah.
Now, Rob always pointed out that, like, just see who she's going to be, like, what product placement is going to be in her second video. And of course, lo and behold, here's her Animal Crossing video that we know she got for free from Switch. Nintendo gave her that 3 or 4 months ago. And what else happened? Her first workout in quarantine 3 months ago, when quarantine started, 4 months ago. It's like these are all filmed in advance. They're all professionally edited in advance.
And she was still in shape. But I'll give you guys a hint because some people pulled it out in the chat.
I think I kind of know what it is now. Yeah.
So Bree's first video, my first YouTube video, second video with her face, second video, my Q&A of Animal Crossing, and then the second one, committing to conversation. Then the third one, first quarantine workout. The font is a little bit different, don't you think? The color is a little bit different because she's having a conversation with the black woman. So you got to make sure that the font is black, so it's not the white woman talking. It's just gotta make things different for the guest.
And to be on your side about the thing with stretching, it's funny because as an artist, you can clearly see that the last one, white is not the best choice for the
no,
because the second part of bicep and whatever workout bleeds into a white wall. So, I mean, it's kind of funny.
So right there, the excuse people were trying to make before that new video came out of, it just pops more on the pink. First of all, we know as artists that on any solid pigmented shade like that, the white's going to pop a lot more. We've all done this as YouTube artists ourselves. We've all experimented with this. We all know for a fact the white's going to pop out on that pink a heck of a lot more. And clearly the white washing out is not an issue because you can see it doing just that in that new thumbnail. It is just so tasteless and so overt and also so clear, this release schedule. What you look at, okay, so I made a decision. It's also no accident that it takes 2/3 of the way through this 21-minute video for her to even talk about, we're gonna have race conversations. It's no accident that the second video is, here's my gaming video to bait you in, even though it's really not that, because she's like, I'm gonna show you my island. Clearly her team is already experts at clickbait, because finally show you my Animal Crossing island. She doesn't. Spoilers, she doesn't show it to you. She has some lame ass excuses to why she can't. And then
the entire comment section is telling her how she could have put her actual Animal Crossing thing on there.
Right. She waits till the third video though to have this very important conversation. Exactly. Yeah. All of her users immediately in the comments were like, this is how you fix this very simple thing, you dumb bitch. Nobody said that, but they're all thinking it. And then the third one, very important conversation. Now, all of a sudden, we're to the first workout. So, and with the shortest turnaround time, I believe, between videos from the conversation to the workout, because all of a sudden, the conversation video was serious and it didn't do as good views. Let's just show my body. People will want to see that, right?
I love it.
And if you don't like
the SC reviews put out of Brie doing the splits, and he says, "Where did that come from?" And I'll just let people use their imagination.
I just love living rent free in her head. Really, I do.
Right. Well, she was in my premiere this afternoon, or somebody who she's hired to be in my premiere, because they always say the same thing. They always have the same message over and over again. They've been saying the same thing for the past year. And I did a trailer reaction to Basmati Blues because, before I watched this, Rob and I were going to work on a new Brie Larson dance mix because we already have one. So before I actually get in there and watch this, we're like, you know what? Are there any other cringe moments that we can quote in our next song from Basmati Blues? Turns out, yes, there are. It's a musical, and it's hilarious, and it's better than The Room. So we know she listens to this because why else would she have so many people that she's, I guess, allowing to and approving of and condoning and probably paying for to go and harass our channels and stalk our channels for anything.
I just love this face. I'm gonna open Photoshop to save that image.
Oh, her faces are amazing. I've been using her as a jump scare in my videos. Every time she just zooms in on this huge face. What was the last one she did? I think the Very Important Conversation one was the last one I watched of hers. And she just creeps at you in full face, full frame. And I've been using my green screen, so I put it behind me, and it just freaking scares me every time. And she even does that in Basmati Blues. She's hilarious. She's the gift that keeps on giving.
She really is.
Comments to yourself.
That's what I'm talking about. It's like, look, I could give a fuck less about Brie Larson. Her life is her life. She's a white rich person. I don't care. All she does is give us content. Okay. The fact that she's going, keep your comments to yourself, and that she's blocking people like, Jeff from commenting and so on and so forth. I think Mecca is another name. Like certain people's names, they weren't. There's people who I remember on that first video were saying that they couldn't post a comment if it had certain names in it, like Mecca Random 42.
Oh.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember that. Yeah. What were you saying, Anna?
I'm blocked. I can't post comments.
So right there, it goes to show. Yeah.
Would you try? Should we see if I am?
In your head.
Yeah,
you probably are.
Go try.
I'm scared. I don't want her to know I'm who I am.
She's gonna find you, Mecca.
You're probably her arch enemy. What the fuck are you talking about? You get the Brie bots more than anybody.
I know, and I get like the least amount of views on my stuff too. Maybe that's just because she and I think I'm very similar to her. I think we're very similar in personalities. Like I play the guitar, she plays the guitar. I think I know everything. She thinks she knows everything. We just clash. We're so similar.
No, there's one key difference though, is that your face moves when you talk in a way that exhibits real emotion behind your eyes, and not
she just wants to play people
of a machine. Yeah, no one would ever describe you as a plank, Mecca, outside or inside. So and she's so there you.
I just play people. I just want to be people's. I think I'm people's. I didn't play Captain Marvelous because I wanted to be a hero. I just wanted to be Mecca Random 42 because she's my arch enemy. I hate that bitch.
Oh my god, that someone needs to write this story where Brie Larson is the obnoxious hero and Mecca Random's the supervillain. They're just the same person, except Mecca Random has curves and a personality.
But she's leather clad with a riding crop.
And it turns out all along that the only reason Brie hates you so much and wants to destroy you is because she wants to be just like you, but she'll never have the tits.
I just want to. You don't get it, Mecca Random 42. I just want to sleep with you.
That's what it should be. It should be like all the way back. You don't even remember her from high school, trailing like a couple years behind you or something. And her tits came in, your tits came in, and hers never did. And as a result, she just has this obsession with you, this vendetta for the rest of her life. And you're actually not a terrible person. It turns out they cast you like a villain, but you're just into BDSM and really like positive consensual relationships. And all she does is use people in order to get to you, and is just a terrible human being.
All it is about the jiggles, those damn jiggles.
She goes into hate campaign against Mecca Random for the jiggles, and it's all just because she can't do them herself. That's why.
I think it's because she's just jealous that I look younger than she does, even though I'm a decade older.
That too.
Ouch.
That too. Why can't my skin look that good? All I've done is starve myself and sit on the beach. Why?
Well, I just want to give a quick shout out to Wild Guitar and about the make your Karen card of the SJW deck look like Brie Larson.
Yes.
Challenge accepted.
Oh my god. And she should be wearing a shirt that says this is a personal attack.
That should be the Karen card. This is a personal attack.
Is this a personal attack?
I feel like she deserves her own special card because she's a celebrity. You can parody him.
That's true.
I should call her Ree Larson. Ooh. Yeah, it's just be is this a personal attack?
Can I also draw a Captain Twat Waffle card?
Sure.
Okay.
You do realize there'll be expansions down the road too. So any ideas folks in the chat have, we can make it happen.
I still need a Captain Twat Waffle shirt for my channel.
Apparently my phone was in my pocket going nuts. Anyway, though, I'm sorry. I wanted to add the Ree Larson card to my list so we don't forget that
weird
one.
Texts.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
This was
Computer cat.
This was really enjoyable while you're remembering that and etc. Our friend who is not blocked on the channel, Go Big Boy or Go Home, did write a great comment that he was able to post, which I think is very valid. I think speaks to what a lot of us feel. You know, he's a YouTuber as well. He obviously faces an uphill battle because he's a gun channel, and obviously, you know, mainstream media is very prejudiced against that. And he wrote to Bree, as someone who's been trying to build a channel for over 5 years, some of the best feedback I've received has been negative comments. Real YouTubers who don't have a built-in fan base when they start out have to work from nothing, and listening to negative feedback is part of that. It allows us to understand what our audience doesn't like so we can improve upon our content quality. Of course, we also don't have a production team helping us like you do. Be honest, Bree, you're not spending several hours in front of your computer editing your videos the way most YouTubers do. Most YouTubers do this in addition to their 40+ hour per work day job so we can pay the bills. If you're actually interested, the real problem with your channel is just how far removed from reality you come off as. None of your videos have any sense that you are connected to or even desire to connect to your audience. You haven't worked out all quarantine months and almost have a six-pack. I say this with respect. That level of fitness requires a lot of dedication and doesn't hang around after months off from working out. You're not telling the truth, and you're setting an unrealistic expectation of your female audience in regards to their bodies. You're working out on your period? My wife does this every month. Most women I know do this. Why are you special for doing something that the average woman does all the time? It comes off as a PR stunt to make you look like an every woman, but it only appeals to your built-in fan base and confirms to your detractors why they don't like you. It looks like you think your audience and even other YouTube creators are beneath you. Then again, this video wasn't made for me. I'm just some almost 40-year-old white dude, so clearly my opinions are of no value.
Ooh,
Damn.
and that's
Someone frame that and send that to her, please.
Nah.
by the way.
What's that man's name? Buy him a beer.
Hey, it's Sean, our good friend Sean Firefart, and we will.
I think
definitely
was
will.
Tom on a stream with Sean?
I don't remember if you ever on a
think
stream.
so. I don't think I met Sean. I
Well,
think I
Sean-
remember a name like Firefart.
Ha!
Well,
Yes.
he's a great dude. He's a part of he's on Jesse's channel at least once a month.
Yeah,
he
he's
shows
usually
up.
on Thirsty Thursdays on mine, so that's we have a good time. But he's a really cool dude. If you're interested in guns, if you're interested especially in big bore guns, he's the channel for you. He's a lot of fun.
Oh, okay. I know the guy you're talking about. I remember seeing him on your channel before.
Yeah, he's popped up before. But I highly recommend Go Big Bore or Go Home to those gun enthusiasts out there. So he's also a dedicated Phantom Menace person.
Well, speaking of enthusiasts, I just wanted to say thank you to Craft75
Yeah.
for this giant super chat. It says, Anna, love all your content. Midnight, love your stuff. Mecca, love you too. And Jeff, here's a little something to keep the lights on.
Mhm.
Jesse, love you. I just watched What We Left Behind, the DS9 doc, for the first time ever. There really should be a happy crying emoji.
Oh, I still haven't watched that one. I heard that's really good. Is that the one where they sit down and they talk? They like tell you if they were able to bring the show back, what the next episode was going to be? Because there's some documentary where they did that. Apparently, it was really cool.
I think this is the one. This is the most recent one.
Yeah, I think it was that. Did it like debut at Star Trek Celebration?
The guys were there. I don't know if they showed it or not.
Yeah, I think they didn't show it, or they only showed it to like a certain special tier or
Okay,
something.
they might have just done. They did like a panel about it or something.
Yeah, or I think they might have showed it at Comic-Con and then they didn't at Star Trek Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think that was the
Okay.
case. But everybody was there, like the producers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
were there.
Yeah, because I knew somebody was like really excited about that and all that stuff. So, yeah, no, that sounds really cool.
I've heard great things. I haven't got a chance to get my hands on it yet, but I hear I probably should before they don't print it anymore.
Yeah.
I definitely want to check it out because I'm one of the people, I'll watch a documentary or anything. Like, I don't even really love sports that much. I'll watch a sports documentary. We go on about Empire Dreams, how good it is. Guys and everybody, have we all seen, or has anyone here seen The Captains, that documentary about the making of Star Trek The Next Generation?
No.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Oh, you should see, that's a really good one.
No,
Yeah,
I
the
better
one
check that
from
one out.
Shatner where he like goes around and talks to every captain.
Oh, that I've seen. The round table one, yeah.
I might be giving you the wrong title.
I was going to say, yeah.
Which
yeah.
one?
It's the Star Trek The Next Generation documentary that tells about, like, it's done through artwork, and it shows, like, the people from Paramount giving shit to the crew.
I know what you're talking about, and I can't think of the name of it. I haven't seen it, but it's a really famous documentary.
I'm looking to the chat to see if anyone can tell me what the Star Trek documentary
Somebody
is.
will remember when we catch up here, I bet.
We need your Redneck Trekker has seen it. Great name, by the way.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called either now.
Let's see. Oh, Chaos on the Bridge. There we go. That's what it is.
Chaos
Thank
on the
you.
Bridge, yes.
Oh, wait, hold on. To be fair, though, our friend Nall White did get it first. I just want to give a shout out to everyone who sent it in. First off, Nall White did, as well as Sander Hammerslag. So thank you to both of you who did send that in. That is one of my recommendations for Star Trek documentaries to watch. Chaos on the Bridge. It's really good.
I tried to get a copy of that at STLV last year, and they didn't have any left. The guy's like, yeah, I just sold my last one like 20 minutes ago. I'm like, oh, of course you did. But,
Yeah, it's a damn fine documentary.
I'm sure if I ask around, I can get it.
It was on Netflix. That's where I caught it.
Really? Cool. I'll
Yep.
check there again. Speaking of documentaries, I found one that I think our audience will appreciate, but it's Region 2. So you either have to have a region-free Blu-ray player, or I hope there's a way, maybe we can find a way for people to watch it without doing it in, piratey ways. Because it's a really amazing documentary, and these folks deserve every bit of money they can get for it. It's called Cleaning Up the Town. It's a documentary that they put together over like the last decade about the making of Ghostbusters.
Ooh.
And it has some stories I've never heard about Ghostbusters before in it. And it even has some of the last interviews with Harold Ramis in it too, as far as that goes.
It's on Crackle for free.
Is it? Okay, check it out, folks. It's a fucking amazing documentary. That's what made me think of it too, is because they actually put together because they never did the original script version of Ghostbusters that was 500 pages long, but so they actually did like storyboards and stuff of that stuff to help explain it it's great. They go through all the different production stories and everything through the movie. It's awesome.
By the way, folks, not that Rotten Tomatoes really holds much weight anymore, but it does sit at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it came out in 2019. So yeah, it seems
it took them over a decade to put together. It was crowdfunded and shit. Yeah,
it's got Dan Aykroyd, William Atherton, Timothy Carhart, Alice Drummond. Yeah, tons of people.
Everybody but Rick Moranis and Bill Murray, but they have stock interviews with those two.
Well, by the way, folks, if you really love this idea and you want to support it, it's only $19.14 on Amazon. It's on sale for $10 off this week. So it is available on Blu-ray. So if you're a Ghostbusters enthusiast, which I am, I think I'm just gonna put this in the cart. It's to support something I really give a shit about. So there we go. I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, I imported the Blu-ray. It was about the same price, but again, like I said, it's Region 2. So unless you have a region-free player, then yeah.
I think the PS4 will play it. So.
I could try it. I'll try it tonight. Actually, I didn't think to.
Oh, do me a favor if it does play on the PS4, let me know, because I'm still going to pick it up. I also picked up the Tobin Spirit Guide the other day, so that was kind of
fun. Because there's bonus interviews and stuff on the Blu-ray.
So let me read a few more super chats because I wanted to talk about this new thing with Disney's Mulan. The fact that Disney Plus is no longer good enough for Disney. There's a new tier. Well, not a new tier, but you have to pay extra for shit. So, first off, I'd like to give a shout out to our friend Barney the Spaceosaurus Woke Reeks again, who says the woke are after Tyrone Magnus because he hated The Last of Us 2. I'm not going to give it any of my money. I do want to get that game, that Ghost of Tsushima. That looks pretty fun. I guess since we're going to start our Twitch channel, and it requires a lot of time, screw it. I'll get in some big story-based games. Maybe I'll do a playthrough of Spider-Man as well. That'll be kind of fun. Anna, you went through what, Knights of the Old Republic, correct?
Yeah, 1 and 2. I just finished 2 the other day.
What do you play on, PC or Xbox or?
The first time for KOTOR, I played it on the Xbox, and I had my phone pointed at the TV, and everyone screamed at me to stop doing that. So I got KOTOR 2 on Steam. And I really like Steam. You just open it up. You got all your games there. It just loads. It's on the computer. And you can just go through Streamlabs and then have that up, through Twitch. It's super simple. I had to have Ryan help me set it up with the Twitch and connecting Streamlabs to it. Mm-hmm. But once you do it once, you know how to do everything.
One of these days, you don't have a Switch, do you?
No.
I want to get people to go up against me in Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. I mean, I'm not the world's greatest player. What?
I do not do racing games. I suck.
Jesse is surprisingly good at Mario Kart. Not surprisingly good, but we used to play on the little Joy-Cons and she'd come in whatever place. But now I bought her this pro-sized controller with Mario.
Oh, you need the pro controller. Yeah, that's the best.
I see you on there a lot, Mecca. I'll see you at night playing something and we're playing Mario Kart. I'm like, I kind of want to see what Mecca's up to see if she wants to play, but I see you're deep into some other game. I'm like, another time. But I want to get us all together to do some kind of community Star Wars game or community game or something.
Well, I did pre-order because I do still have my Nintendo 64 cartridge of Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. So I did pre-order the physical version from Limited Run Games of Episode 1 Racer on Switch. So yeah, I do want to play that again. It's been a long time since I played that, but I do play Mario Kart from time to time. I finally finished Paper Mario on Switch, and I've been streaming that a little bit.
How is the new one? I've heard it wasn't that good from IGN, but I don't really trust IGN. So
It has combat issues. It has some tedious combat where you have to basically solve ring puzzles before it lets you fight, and it just feels like it slows the game down. It's a little annoying from time to time, and yeah, other than that, it doesn't let you over level. You can't grind and try and max out Mario's level because you just naturally gain hit points as you progress. It's not the best Paper Mario game, but if you like Paper Mario, I think people who like Paper Mario a lot would like it enough. It's not the best one though.
The last one I played was on the Wii. I was a big Wii enthusiast, but then I kind of got burned out because all the shovelware and the games were just not that great. So
yeah.
Let's see. We also have our friend Lorena Cole. We did read this one, but she says, wait a minute. I'm on the Toxic Femininity show on Midnight's Edge channel, and there's a white supremacy misogynistic channel. # clutch the pearls, 3 laughy faces. Thank you, Lorena Cole. Tom did comment on it earlier, but apparently you're on a misogynistic white supremacy channel. So there we go. Jimmy Mania, thank you very much. He says, when you're racist for not liking Poe and sexist for not liking Ray, Mace Windu and Jyn Erso, are we a joke to you? Yeah, it's so funny, Jimmy, how for years, decades even, fucking 40 years, there have been Lando Calrissian fans. But if you didn't all of a sudden like Finn, now you're a racist. It's like, what? So believe me, the good characters, it's funny how people are like, oh, they don't make good characters anymore. And people are like, no, wait, just you got to watch more modern stuff. The more we get into this culture war, the more I agree with that statement. They just don't make them like they used to anymore. And they could, but we have so many self-insert characters these days that I don't know about you guys on the panel, but self-insert characters are the most obvious type of character, and I just can't get behind them at all. I look at those and I lose interest. Anytime a self-insert character appears, I'm just not happy.
Well, they're generic.
I mean, it just shows that these people don't watch a lot of movies or TV shows or anything to be complaining about this. Like me and Drunk, I've been watching the original series with him. And so first episode, he's like, they complain about diversity. He's like, look at all, like, there's black people. There's, people of all different shapes, sizes, and colors on the deck of the Enterprise. And that was back in the 60s. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's always been that way. These people just don't watch movies, or else, why are they complaining? They wouldn't have anything to complain about if they actually watch the content that they're complaining about.
Anna, while you're talking about the Star Trek stuff that you're watching with Drunk, what's the favorite episode that you've encountered so far?
You mean my favorite? Oh, I've seen these like 1,000 times. So my favorite episode is going to be a bit different than somebody watching it for the first time. Drunk really liked the Corbomite maneuver. He was completely shocked about that. But my favorite episode has always been the Journey to Babel.
Let's see. I see? Star Trek is a lot like the Twilight Zone, where I know episodes. If I don't know the title names, but I know. Oh, okay. I'm looking up. Yeah.
So the Journey to Babel is the one where you meet Sarek for the first time officially, and he's not a Romulan. And then the Corbomite maneuver is the one where instead of doing chess, they do poker. I'm air quoting, so you get that. And then there's the kid alien.
I gotta say, Journey to Babel is one of my favorites as well, because when I was on Netflix, there's a weird thing about Star Trek. If you watch it on Amazon, last time I checked, Amazon had like the older edits, and this Netflix had the special edition changes with the new effects and shit. So I don't know if that's the case still across the board, but
I like all the Star Treks.
All of them.
All the Star Treks.
Was the Scott Bakula one good?
It has its moments. Yeah, like the 4th season was really, really good with Scott Bakula. For me personally, I liked the first season where it kind of started, but then once they got into the whole Xindi war, it was just way too much for me to take. It was just way too much Xindi, way too much of the same story for way too long. And Clint.
I really liked Enterprise. I find it charming in its own way.
Well, it got so good towards the end, like with Shran. Oh.
And then they canceled it.
Well, it's Les Moonves' fault. He's an asshole.
So, Our friend Jimmy Mania, we read his, thank you very much. Mr. Insanity says, also surprised Critical Drinker didn't get added to the hit list of supremacy. Maybe they're afraid of the Critical Drinker because they'll just talk you into a grave. Because dude has some skills. I gotta give him credit there.
Maybe because he's an established author too.
Oh, okay. I did not know that actually. I've had limited interactions with him, but I've seen his videos are very popular in our community, so a lot of people will share them, and therefore I'll check them out. So
that's enough. Now go away.
Silver Phantom X, thank you very much for your pair drinking a cup of coffee emoji super chat sticker. Greatly appreciated that. By the way, folks, we have over 1,200 watching and only 500 likes. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Clearly, you guys are digging this show. We're having a great time. We're only in the first hour, but this is flying by. So.
Well, there's a lot to talk about in this Disney thing. That's why I kind of pushed us along a little bit here because, yeah, this is going to get down in the trenches.
Well, let me read two more. First off, from our friend Rage and Rhino that says, that list looks like a fandom menace list of YouTubers more than a Comicsgate list. Hail the High Council, Jeff, Tom, Mecca, Anna, and Jesse. Hail.
Hello.
Thank you very much, Rage and Rhino. We appreciate you. And I'll tell Jessie you said that she had to step away for a minute, but to enter a phone call. But I'll tell her because the next one, Leo Breaker 49 says, finally get to catch a High Council live, and the Empress is the guest tonight. Tonight's a good night. So thank you, Leo Breaker. Yeah, we have a technically
I'm going to steal that Empress. I like that.
We have 5 people on the High Council technically tonight, and it's been a really good panel so far. So let's keep this up. I'm excited. So Tom, Mecca, Anna, we are all streamers. We will watch streaming channels and platforms and stuff like that. And Disney Plus, I have access to it. Anna, you have access to it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Mecca and Tom as well, right?
Yeah, I'm on their Midnight's Edge one.
Yeah. Hey, I don't even pay for it. So I have a Verizon account. I'm not feeding the beast. But
I haven't watched it since
Yeah.
I watched part of Roger Rabbit because they actually have it in 4K ultra high definition on there.
oh, how's that look?
Pretty good, as expected, because it's actually on film, with 24 frames a second hand drawn animation and not computer animated stuff that's converted, I should say, from 2K to 4K, like most 4K Blu-rays are nowadays. But anyway, that's a whole different conversation. Other than that, I haven't watched it since The Mandalorian.
I will pop it on to watch X-Men because for as quick as I'm losing interest in the MCU, like traditional pre-Disney X-Men, it's just been really interesting to me as of late. And they even put on the old Fox movies and stuff. But if I'm being completely honest, not to just be that guy that's trying to rail on stuff, Disney Plus has been kind of disappointing because all the shit that I really want to watch is available on other platforms. Either I can buy it on DVD, and Tom, it's funny you brought up how Disney will take Roger Rabbit and upscale it, but a lot of the things that I care about, the programs that will keep me or would keep me around long term, aren't available in the best quality possible. For example, I loved
Angels in the Outfield.
Angels in the Outfield was only on crappy standard definition, but I love X-Men the animated series and I love Spider-Man, 2 shows that I grew up with and still would want to watch to this day. Now, on the other hand, you have Batman. Warner Brothers has taken Batman and remastered it in 1080p. It looks beautiful. It looks like a brand new show. Disney Plus just takes a lot of stuff from the source, the DVD source, and slaps it on there and doesn't even correct certain issues. There's an issue with every episode of the X-Men where it freezes slightly when they introduce each character. But now, Mulan is going to be heading to Disney Plus. So for all the stuff with COVID, for all of the delays, all of the how do I want to say it, changes that our society is going through, the thing that we've covered a lot here on our channels is how's it going to affect entertainment? Because we are an entertainment channel. Yes, when the real world gets hit by something, we can talk about anything you guys want. But overall, we cover pop culture. And so we've all been wondering, when is the next big movie going to come out and how are they going to handle it? And now, as of today, it's official because Disney Plus is going to be going to be exhibiting Mulan, but you have to pay for it. So, Anna, you are our guest tonight. Prior to the announcement of this, when Mulan was announced with the trailers and X, Y, and Z, were you interested in these live-action Disney remakes?
No. And I'm a huge Disney princess fan. So, I still haven't watched Aladdin. I have no interest in watching Aladdin, especially if Robin Williams is not going to be in it. I think I watched the Cinderella one, and I liked it, but I never needed to watch it again. I think everyone is very aware of how I feel about Emma Watson and how just that movie was painful. Let's see what else. Oh, this one. No Shang, no Mushu, no songs, no I'm gonna make a man out of you. Give me a break. I'm not watching this.
Wait, there's no songs in this one?
No, there's no music because it's air quote disrespectful to the culture. I'm like, so it's okay to be disrespectful to say France because you're doing French stereotypes with Lumiere, and not only that, you got an all English/Scottish cast for the French movie. It's okay to be, racist and, disrespectful to that culture, but to Chinese culture, oh, no, we sacred. No, nothing. No music, no fun. No sex.
You know why that is, Anna? Because Disney wants to court this Chinese. Basically, they want to be the number one entertainment company in China. But that's not going to happen because every time. Well, let me take that back. Not every. But with Star Wars, they put so much money into Star Wars. They wanted to expand it to the East. And it didn't work. Now, Marvel stuff, on the other hand, does catch on. That's where they make a lot of money. But Disney has made this concerted effort to appeal to the Chinese market at any cost. And I mean, when I think of Mulan, I don't really like the movie that much, but I think of that song, I'll Make a Man Out of You. And I think of, like you said, Mushu with Eddie Murphy, like the fun parts. They're taking away the identity of this movie for one reason, so they don't offend the Chinese audience, which it's dumb. Oh, we want to be respectful. So when you go and make the Hunchback of Notre Dame live action remake, make sure you're respectful there. Do it everywhere across the board.
They will never do that because of, if you watch that as a grown-up, it has very different things you realize in the movie than when you were a kid. I didn't notice the extra creepiness of Frollo, like smelling Esmeralda's hair, and I never understood the Hellfire song until I was a grown-up, and I was like, oh, dude's a perv, dude's a creep. No.
Fucking Frollo is the most terrifying Disney villain of all. Like, totally underrated because no one really thinks about that movie or whatnot. But yeah, he is their straight up like psycho pedophile villain. It's great.
No, it's like a first introduction of him. He murders a mom that's clutching her baby. And what does he do with the baby? Oh, let me go just dump it in a well. Like, holy shit, what a dark, twisted villain.
Seriously, he's pretty brutal. He's like the Nurse Ratched level kind of villain because it's psychological. Like he has psychologically tortured Quasimodo his entire life.
Mm-hmm. That's actually one of my favorite Disney movies, but oh my God, they would never do that because people are too sensitive. Everyone would be clutching their pearls. Oh no, he killed a mom holding her baby. Oh no, he's being mean to the deformed guy. How dare you? Oh my God, a gypsy? That's racist. You have to call them Romani.
Exactly. No, it's exactly what you would. Oh, Quasimodo can't have, and we have to call him differently abled in the movie, and all. We can't make fun of him ever because that would just hurt the feelings of people who have deformities. Although Hunchback goes into Disney's clear prejudice against ugly people, though, because it's one of the few movies. It's like the only Disney movie where the guy doesn't get the girl. No, the girl goes with the hot guy because ugly people can't have happiness. Even in Beauty and the Beast, he's got to turn back into a prince before he can get married.
And he looks better as the Beast than he did as a prince.
I agree. I think he's way cuter as
Disney giving women unrealistic expectations for over 70 years.
Exactly. Have you guys ever seen that meme where it shows all the Disney princes and what they say to like the girl, and then Shang, he's just like, you fight good as compared to all the like other romantic things. Let me see if I can find it. You'll laugh.
Well, while Anna looks that up, Mecca, Tom, when you guys first heard this news, what were your thoughts? Mecca, we'll go with you first.
Yes, please.
I was not surprised. I was surprised they were going to charge that high of a premium for it.
You were considering how many times I've said it?
Yeah.
Perry White is the song Gypsy by Fleetwood Mac Band. I wish it would be because my mom played the hell out of that song.
I love that song, but it's not one of their best.
I don't like Fleetwood Mac that much. I know
I love
it's going to be controversial, but
that's one place where we detour from each other. Then
you know what? It's fine. We both have that love of Beverly Hills Cop.
That's right.
But Anna, did you find what you wanted to show?
I did. Let me share my little window real fast, and I'll read all of these to you. Okay, so this is Rapunzel. You were my dream. I lost her once. I'm not going to lose her again. Because Tiana, she is my Evangeline. Meg, I would never, ever hurt you. At last, or at least I got to see you one last time. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I'd rather die tomorrow than live 100 years without knowing you. You fight good. Like, come on. They cut him out of the movie. Oh, he was great.
The Aladdin one. Aladdin's the only Disney. Well, okay, Aladdin and The Lion King are the only two Disney animation films that I liked as a kid that I still like as an adult. And I'm like, yep, this was always as good as I thought it was. Like, nothing has changed. I went back and watched it on Disney Plus when I first got the free year, and I was like, yeah, Disney used to have something there, but not anymore. Now, Tom, I know that you are really hot about this topic. So, what do you think of this, and what does this mean for Disney Plus and other streaming services?
First, I told you so. And for all those who argued with me, this is what I was talking about. Sooner or later, they were going to have to figure out a way to make up that back end. And the only way to do that was to jack up the price. And they're even jumping to the next step that I predicted that I figured wasn't going to happen for a while. And that was making it a Disney Plus exclusive. So not only do you have to pay Disney directly for it, you have to double pay because, as people are pointing out, this is on top of your already subscription price. To get this, you have to pay an extra $30. So it's basically $40 altogether if you stop and think about it. And I'm trying to find out if this is a rental or if you're actually going to end up owning the film.
No, it's a rental.
Yeah, because I was going to say,
There's scroll back. There's a comic book now one, I think.
Let's see.
Video on demand price.
Oh yeah, there you go. Way to bring Mulan.
This is what I was talking about, folks. Don't be surprised if the next thing around the corner is, they do the same thing with the Marvel movies, but only they'll jack up the price a little bit more. And Disney will be the first ones to do this and get away with it. So then everybody else will follow suit.
Well, do you think realistically, had this happened last year, I think they could have had a blank check for the cost of a Marvel film. Post Endgame, I like Black Widow as a character and Scarlett Johansson as an actress, but I ain't paying $30 for this.
I get you. I totally understand, but that's not as relevant as the whole situation of this is what's bound to happen.
But I think that they'll let's talk about it because I don't want to get to my end conclusion. Let's keep talking about this. So anyway, you have been calling this for a while. This is one of those things where Tom's taking his victory lap. So enjoy it. But I'm with you about they do jump to that next bad step. What were your first thoughts though when you heard this morning? Like, wow, like were you pissed? Were you?
Well, first I was like, I figured, and then I heard the circumstances because I thought they were just going to dump it on Disney Plus. Because that's as far as this goes. The film itself, I'm only half right about. I said they'll end up dumping it to Disney Plus for a couple of reasons. One, there's just no way in this market right now to release a movie with everything going on that they were going to make their money back. And then two, there was just going to be a loss leader for Disney Plus. No, they've gone the other route. They're actually going to try and make some money back on this thing because it cost them a fortune to make because they went back and did a bunch of reshoots. So I think the budget's like $250 or $300 million on this thing. And love the original film or not, I don't think it was one of Disney's bigger hits from my recollection. Like, I don't think it made nearly as much as some of the other films in that era.
I'll look it up. I
don't think so because I think it came out in the later 90s, and that's when they kind of started having a dry spell because when they did Treasure Planet and Atlantis, and that didn't do well. So like right around like the millennium, the parks were doing great, but the movies weren't doing as well. And so that's actually when, if you read Bob Iger's book, and he talks about acquiring Pixar and how he was at one of the many Disneylands or Disney Worlds. And he was looking at all of the parades and how none of the characters were from recent movies. They were all from like at least 10 years ago because none of the newer ones were popular. And so that's why it made a change. Sorry.
Well, Mulan made $300 million in 1998.
That was worldwide though, right?
Yes, that puts it ahead of Pocahontas, but well behind Lion King. Lion King's box office.
Well, Lion King was the anomaly.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying they account all the re-releases too. 968.5 million. I do believe also Lion King is the highest selling VHS tape in history. I
It
think
is,
like
yes.
40 million copies or some shit like that.
That's one of the few movies that made like is almost as much on video as it did in the theaters in its initial run. And that kind of brings me to my next point here. This proves that Disney Plus is not as profitable as people would like to think. I mean, they tried to candy coat it as much as they could in this conference. I know, Anna, you listened to the whole thing.
Oh my God, it was the most boring hour and 15 minutes of my life.
I got the breakdown. I didn't get to listen to it all yet before the show. I just didn't have time. But yeah, this to me tells that this is a clear sign that they know they can't make their money back on stuff off Disney Plus, even with 60 million subscribers, which is like getting, I think, up there or above what Netflix has now. That's still not enough. That's not enough to cover the costs of all these shows and these movies, and it's a big, huge loss. Look, they lost $5 billion, like Sandra Hammerslag said, and quite a few other people have said. That's what also came out. That's more than what they paid for the Star Wars franchise, folks. That's where I sit there and say, with all confidence, there's no way they made their money back on that investment.
Hell no.
No.
It's funny that this is the next step, and they don't have a really good slate ahead of them. I know I keep reiterating the point, if this happened last year, I think they have a blank check. But last year you had Captain Marvel. If this would have happened for Captain Marvel, it would have been a huge disappointment for them. But if this would have happened for Avengers, or, well, Spider-Man's a Sony picture. Do you think, okay, let's go back last year. Do you think if this would have happened last year with Disney Plus on the rise, do you think Sony and Marvel would have come to an agreement to have Spider-Man on the platform with the same kind of tier system?
Maybe. It would have made sense for Sony, because Sony's making they're doing a lot of wheeling and dealing with Netflix on the side. So like, yeah, I would see them doing that. That would make fiscal sense for them, especially if Disney cut them a real good deal.
Yeah, I just, Disney's slate moving forward, if this is what they're going to try to pull for every film this year, and the first thing I said to Jesse is, when I talked about this morning, I was like, well, if Bond is going to be $30, that's the only movie I think I'd be willing to pull the trigger for.
Bond might be more than that.
I love 007 movies, but the new Daniel Craig era is just not worth it, You got to
look at it in perspective, though. This is on Disney Plus through Disney Plus only, so that's the only reason they're able to sell it for $30. If they were to put this movie out on like Amazon and iTunes and all that stuff, it'd probably be twice that, if not at least another $10 or $20 more, because they got to make up that difference. This is going right into their pocket. They got to pay the other, the digital distributors and stuff yet too. What were you going to say, Anna? I'm sorry.
I'm just like, James Bond. Daniel Craig is not James Bond. No.
But yeah, and MG, like, I can see if they were trying to do that, they would charge like at least $40 or $50 for the James Bond film.
Yeah, no offense, actually all offense to MGM and Daniel Craig. Dude, if you ever heard this, you're not worth $30. I'll pay $15 for a ticket and the experience of going to a movie. Daniel Craig James Bond movies are the biggest fucking wet fart in history. You're going to go and see this big action spectacle. You spend 40 minutes hearing why he's too old to be James Bond. Then you watch him get bitched at by his boss. Then he eventually goes on a mission, and he cries at the end because his girlfriend died. That's Casino Royale in a nutshell. Then we go on to the next ones, and it's the same rinse and repeat formula. He never leaves the launching pad. Say what you will about the Brosnan movies. Watch Goldeneye. He starts out in Russia, he ends in Cuba, and he goes all around the world in the process. It's an interesting film. They don't make them like that anymore. But
and it actually looks like James Bond.
Yeah. I have the funny thing is too, Anna, when people go, oh, they never tell you what James Bond looks like in the books, except when they do all the time. They go into detail of what the man looks like explicitly. And I just hate how people are like, well, it doesn't say it in the source material. He doesn't have to look that way. It's like the dumbest argument I ever heard is, oh, they don't tell you what color the people in the comic books are. It doesn't matter. Yeah, because they draw them and color them for you. So clearly, they have to establish look. What the fuck? That was the dumbest thing I've ever been told. And I still think about this probably 10 years later.
Oh my God, that's the stupidest thing. I mean, I remember my parents were shocked because, tiny little 3 to 5 year old me, and I'd be like so excited, like, "Woo, yay, we get to go watch James Bond!" And my parents like, "You like James Bond?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's got the cool car. He shoots the bad guys. It's fun." I remember, and I thought it was the funniest thing with Dr. No and how he has a third nipple. And I think they have like family videos of me, like toddler, like still in diapers, and I'm just laughing there with my little sippy cup. And I love James Bond. It's so good. And it's like its own genre in and of itself. But I mean, look at all of the other James Bonds and then look at this James Bond. It's not James Bond.
No. By the way, I do love this. Daniel Craig is on the long list of people with 2 first names that you cannot trust. I am with that at all. But, you know, this topic at hand. So this is the next step. Disney, Bob Chapek, the CEO of Disney, I guess he's the CEO, even if Bob Iger's still around. But he has come out to say that this is not the next step. This is just a circumstance. Now,
He's full of shit.
he is full of shit because I'm going to say, remember, a couple of weeks ago, Artemis Fowl dropped onto Disney Plus. Now, wasn't that meant to be a bigger picture?
Yes.
That was supposed to be, I think, theatrically released.
But it was testing horribly, so they knew that it wasn't going to do shit.
Well, they also pushed it back, and I believe they did a lot of reshoots.
Yeah.
A lot of the fans, from what I saw, were disappointed because they completely missed the mark of the book, and they changed it basically to be like a Johnny Quest sort of thing or whatever.
It's funny you mentioned that blank check, Jeff, because last year, you're right, Disney had the biggest year in history for any studio, box office wise. Now, technically, Joker made more money, the most money, I think, at the box office overall because of the difference in how much it costs comparatively to what it cost to make and what it made. But overall, Disney contributed to $42 billion in box office, which even though, you know, revenue's technically down across the board for the last few years, 42 billion is the highest they've ever made. It's the most they've ever made in a year at the box office. And it has mostly to do with Avengers Endgame, Captain Marvel, The Lion King, Aladdin, and what was the other big movie that Disney had last year? There's one I'm forgetting. Star Wars, but that was before Star Wars.
I like how we forgot Star Wars. We're like, oh yeah, Star Wars.
Yeah, but so like all that combined with everything else, they had a record year last year. Disney done spent all that fucking money on the crap that we're talking about right now. They spent all that money.
They also spent a lot of money on Fox.
Yes.
That's the thing a lot of people keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Was that $70-something billion they spent on Fox realistically for their back catalog?
Which was here's the thing. I'm kind of split on the Fox deal. Any other time, if this situation that we are in currently that YouTube doesn't like us to mention wasn't going on, the Fox deal probably would be a good thing for them to build on the streaming wars. Because I thought we'd deal with the streaming wars first, but actually the theater wars are playing out right before our eyes because Cinemark came down today and they said, fuck this 3-week window bullshit. So it's already started, folks. They're already fighting over it. This Mulan thing pissed all of them off because that's the other thing. You've got contracts. This is going to be a dicey situation going forward. Like I'm already seeing the Kong versus Godzilla toys in stores, the Wonder Woman 84 toys in stores. These licensees and all these companies have like contracts and deals with them. Like I can't believe that all the companies that did the stuff for the Scooby-Doo movie didn't come crashing down on Warner Brothers. Because that's the thing is they have this, you know, this contract set up for a theatrical film, a theatrical release that has a big, you know, campaign on television, which sells the synergy of, oh, the kids wants the toys and this and that and the other. When you don't have that and it's something coming straight to streaming and the most you can muster is what Trolls 2 did, that's not enough. It's not enough to make enough money. And that just brings us back to this whole point of why they're charging $30 for you to see Mulan, which nobody's going to. It's going to wind up on the high seas. It's going to be a big mess for them. But
yeah. Well, Tom, right now, like you said, a budget of $200 million.
For this is actually more than that. It was 250 or 300 is what they're actually even. It's probably more than that, I think.
What I'm saying, I'm looking at what Wikipedia has listed at 200 million. So that's you have to do 2.5 times that. So you're talking what, 500 mil is what? Well, the advertising is different on this one because of the bug. So that's going to have slowed it down a bunch. But I mean, it's got a fantastic cast. I mean, it's got Donnie Yen, Jason Scott Lee, Jet Li. But I won't give this money a dime. Yes, I'm a little pissed at Disney. Yes, it has something to do with Mulan not being worth $30. Realistically, if theaters were open, I probably wouldn't have seen this film because I just don't care about the story of Mulan. They did it. That's the problem with the Disney live action films. And this is where Disney's going to realize they're kind of fucked by going down this path. The people that were going to go see it or rent it, like the people with the money, we've already seen it. And okay, let's say you're a parent that doesn't have a bunch of money. Is your kid really going to know or care that Mulan's animated or live action? Because if, let's say, little Lauren watches Mulan, the animated one, and has a great time, but Timothy's parents got him the live action one for $30 and he hated it. Well, one's going to love Mulan and want to be a fan, and the other one's going to say, this is stupid. I don't want to like Disney movies. They're boring, whatever. So, I mean, they're setting themselves up for, I don't want to say failure, but I mean, if they're losing 5 billion, if they're, there's articles that are coming out from the Observer, why Mulan needs a big box office win more than Tenet and all these other things lined up. Disney's not in the best situation. And real quick, I wanted to jump on this. What did they have for 2020? Well, this is their updated schedule as of June 26th of this past year. So Empty Man on August 7th from a 20th Century Fox release. The Personal Life of David Copperfield, and again, another Fox release. Mulan, that's not coming out anymore. The New Mutants, that's never going to come out. The Kingsman, that's a movie I would rent for like $10 or $15 because I saw the other two in theaters. Death of the Nile, French Dispatch, Black Widow. Okay, that's a Marvel movie. Deep Water, Soul, Disney and Pixar. Okay, let's look at Black Widow in this Pixar movie. Do you think they're gonna try to open this window at $30, or will Mulan not be successful enough? And do you think, Tom, that they're gonna make it more expensive, and will that work?
That's what I'm afraid of. That's the thing, is like, I know it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. If this works out for them, this is the future, folks. And it's only going to get worse from here. If it doesn't work out, then that opens up the door for them. Like, okay, we got to open it up to other services, but then that raises the price even more. And then as long as the theaters are closed or they can't work out some deal with the theaters, that's the thing, is the theaters are the main revenue for this stuff. Like, when they have to make their bulk of their money back, that's why I've brought it up many times. And I know a lot of people don't like dealing with the theaters, but half the reasons you don't like dealing with the theaters are a result of the studios getting greedier and greedier and greedier over the years. Because anybody who's older than 20 or 30 can tell you, remembering going back to theater houses, and it was an experience, and it was actually worthwhile, and it wasn't so expensive that you had to take a loan out to have the family go see, Mulan, for instance, here on the screen, because that's the thing is, yeah, to a family, this $30 may not be as bad because it's cheaper than taking the family to the theater. But there's a lot of people out there that are just single or just a couple. That's not really economic. I mean, yeah, maybe once in a while, but once it starts getting into the $40, $50, $60 range, it's not.
Well, you gotta think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you good. You're the guest.
It's one of those things that, thinking about it as a family, it's like, okay, well, so we're going to pay $30 for this movie right now. And then in a few months, when it would have been released onto Disney Plus, we're no longer going to have to pay for it anymore. Nobody's going to pay for that, especially right now.
No, and that's a point I brought up before too, Anna, about the whole thing with, if they drop these movies and it's like, okay, yeah, I can rent it for 30 now, or I can buy it for 50. They're cutting out all their revenue. Yeah.
Gotta point out the elephant in the room there. The second these drop digitally, they're going to be dropping digitally for everybody who will say, I don't want to pay for this.
And I brought that up. Yeah, that was what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that they're not really figuring, like, if they price themselves out of people buying this or wanting to spend extra, because I can almost see spending like an extra $8 on top of my already like a subscription or whatever. 30 is kind of steep for a rental for a digital thing.
But you know what they'll do to combat what you're talking about, Mecca, and I brought up this before too, is you got to stop and remember, where's most people getting their internet from? It's generally a cable company. And Disney has a lot of influence over a lot of these companies, and a lot of these movie companies will get together and they will start going after people. They've been fairly nice about it now. I'm sure some people out there, if you don't have, you go and do some things, you might get a letter from your internet provider warning you not to do that again. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, that's going to go to the extreme then. All those people that are just getting little warning letters aren't going to just get little warning letters anymore. They're all going to wind up in court. And you may think that the courts will just go, oh, this is bullshit. No, they won't, because that's why that FBI warning is there. When you see that they will sit there and look at you and go, well, you were breaking the law, right? And you think they're fucking around. That's $10,000 per. Ask the kid who got busted for the for the whole deal with the whole music business.
Oh, Metallica. That's why I won't give them any of my money.
Like, that's where we're headed, folks. If this shit go, and again, I know that's what you're saying, Mecca. Like, that's what it's like. It's this thing that's just going to keep escalating and escalating and escalating, and we're already at a point where nobody really wants to see half these movies anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone's going to even risk like piracy or risk the fines or even getting a letter for this. They're like, I don't care. I'll just wait. It doesn't, and I think that a lot of people are like, you know what, we've been waiting all this time for everything else for stores to open up. We can wait now. We don't care about this. Because look what happens with the sports ball shit. People like that stuff. I don't even watch it, but I'm aware that it's going on, that they're losing ratings because of the politics crap. And people, you have nothing else to do, and people aren't watching this because people don't care. So what's going to happen with just another remake that people might not care about?
Well, hopefully that this is one of those things that sets Disney straight, because last year, like you said, Tom, with record-breaking numbers, and they're probably, these execs had to be sitting there, oh my God, their eyes were just dollar signs, dollar signs, dollar signs. I can't wait to buy another car or do this. And last week we heard about Abigail Disney calling out Disney for the way they have run some of their business practices and how they've treated their employees. And it's interesting how, look, I put it like this: for anybody that works in the park, that's an employee of Disney, that's suffering from this, the regular people, I feel for all them. It's the execs and the board and all these bigger people, the higher ups, the haughty ones, that I have no sympathy for, because we're in a year where they're trying to figure out what to do with their movies. Their theme parks aren't open. What are they bringing out really that is getting people out there? Because we're going to talk about some Star Wars merchandise in a minute. That license fee that they've been paid, they have been paid for. Yes, they probably get a small percentage of each sale, but like at the end of the day, 2020 has probably got to be one of the worst years internally for them. The stuff that we don't even know about, because they got to be scrambling. They're always trying to think so many years ahead, and we don't know how long this is going to go on for. We don't know how long Disneyland out here is going to be closed for. And if they're just offering alternatives that aren't interesting people, what's next? What are they going to do? How are they going to structure Disney Plus differently? And what I want to know too, what scares me the most, is are other studios like HBO with Warner Brothers and stuff, are they going to go, oh well, the Snyder Cut's $10? Like, where does this stop? Is this only going to be a Disney thing, or is it going to be across the board with streaming that, oh, you watch Stranger Things season 4, it's 10 extra bucks on your, that's going to kill streaming for people, because it's not streaming, it's renting and having a thing. It's like when you play on Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus, oh, you can get this game, but to play it online, you have to have an additional $60 a year subscription, and that turns a lot of people off.
Yeah, well, but here's the thing: is like they even point out in this deal, and I just got a breakdown here of the whole phone call. Direct to consumer seems to be where the Wall Street missed expectations, as revenue as division is lower than expected. That's what they're talking. That's what this all is about. Is they're not making the money that they think they're going to make. And that's what you're kind of talking about too, Jeff. Where like Universal got all fucking bullheaded. They're like, oh, we made $200 million on Trolls. And it's like, you didn't stop to think that all the money you lost on the other ends, like you lost that could have been the $200 million you made in theaters. You could have made another 60 or 70 million on rentals, and another probably that much just in sales for the Blu-rays.
Yeah, and we're always talking about Blu-ray sales, or people are always talking about the ancillary merchandise, and people say, well, Blu-ray is a dead medium, but like Blu-ray brought in a couple $100 million for Avengers.
And when I say Blu-ray, I mean DVD and actually digitally too. Yeah.
Like the funny thing is, why don't people talk about the Rise of Skywalker Blu-ray sales? Because are they even worth noting? Are they relevant?
Nah, I don't think they were that great.
And everybody wants to say, well, it's because the medium's dead. It's really not, though, because other movies owned by the same company make bank make bank on home video. But just because this one doesn't, they're going to try to tell you the entire medium's dead. I mean, to me, that's the most bullshit right there ever. Okay, so 14 million. So it's an additional 60 million in home video sales for The Rise of Skywalker. But like other films are doing
that's
much more.
All they made?
Yeah, an additional 60 million. So
wow, that's shit.
So what did The Last Jedi make on home video?
I think it did 2 or 3 times better than that.
Oh, almost. It did 100 million. So I'm going to make a video. If anybody else makes it right now, they're copying me. I'm making a home video.
That is pretty piss poor, actually.
And you know what? Just for the fuck of it, let's see what the Force Awakens brought in on home video.
I think that did really well.
Best.
$191 million.
That's pretty good. That's more like it, like for a big movie like that. Because like you said before, Lion King did 400 million, I believe, initially on its home video, which like everybody's like, nobody will ever do that again. Then Titanic did it, I think, was the next one to do pretty closer over. And then, of course, Avatar was a big hit on DVD and Blu-ray. Okay. And I think a couple of Avengers movies have beat it since then.
Well, right now I'm looking at the domestic home video sales for Avengers Endgame. $106 million. So
yeah, I
we're
think the original one was like twice that, though. I think.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like the medium's still there, folks. You can make a lot of money. It's just not to be made with Star Wars. And just for the hell of it, let's see what the original Avengers brought in on home video.
I want to say it was close to twice that, probably.
Dude, $250 million.
Okay, 4 times that. Yeah.
Don't anyone tell me home video is fucking dead. Oh, Disney Star Wars makes the most on home video. No, the Avengers make the most on home video. I bought every one of those on. Well, take it back. I did not get the latest one on Blu-ray. Endgame
That's damn good.
Yeah. Endgame was a letdown. Celestial Epic.
Any movie would love to have that just for their box office. That's in home video sales alone.
Yeah. Home video sales alone, I would, if we made a movie 250 mil at the box office, great. The additional 250 mil on top of that, even better.
Oh, that's in our pocket, yo, because you know how much a Blu-ray costs to make? Nothing.
Pennies.
Pennies.
Scale, dude, to press a disc. I got a friend who does music. To press a CD.
The distribution costs more.
Yeah, but when you're that big as Disney, come on now.
Yeah, they get it all. It's all.
I mean, look, it deals with Target they make for other shit. Come on. And exclusive home video releases. It's funny, everyone wants to say home video is dead, but one of the biggest news stories recently was the Back to the Future 35th anniversary box set.
Oh, I know. I started creaming in my shorts. 4K.
I know. I'm going to get it. But no, Tom, though, to jump further down this rabbit hole of this Mulan thing, is there anything else you wanted to cover? Because it really will dictate the way we all consume movies. And not in a good way. I love being able to turn on the Apple TV or the PlayStation and stream and pick out some stuff to watch. And it's nice that, I pay my 10 or 12 bucks a month to Netflix and everything on that platform is mine to watch. I hate when you get into Amazon Prime and it's like, oh my God, they got all these Bond movies to watch. I left my DVD set or Blu-ray set at home. Oh wait, you have to rent them here. Like, I don't like how Amazon Prime has Prime Network stuff as well as stuff to rent. And it doesn't make it a bad service in my opinion. It just makes it not deceiving, but a little like disappointing because it's like, oh, cool, I can watch this, but I got to buy it on top of that. And that's where I feel like you're going to get with Disney, where it's like, oh, $30 to rent. I mean, fuck, it's $14.99 to own the most expensive streaming movie out there. So this is double price for this first viewing of a movie nobody wants. It's going to be an interesting end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if Anna remembers any specifics from the call that I didn't highlight here. The only other thing I thought that was worth highlighting, I was looking for, was they're doing some deal with Sky, I think, instead of Hulu.
Yeah, that I thought was weird, and I think I did a tweet about it because he said, "Oh, Hulu has no brand awareness," and I was like, "Whoa, what?" I was like, "Don't you guys own Hulu?"
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so he was just straight up saying like, no, Hulu is bad for distributing, and I guess Hulu doesn't have an already established foreign market.
That part is true. They don't have a foreign market, but
yeah, but it wasn't. It was with Stars, and that's one of the phone calls they asked.
Or Stars, not Sky. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, they're like, why are you doing this with Stars? And he's like, oh, because they already have an established distribution in foreign markets, and he was just explaining where they're planning on launching Disney Plus, like places like Portugal. I was like, ooh, Portugal. That one perked me up. But in all the countries that Disney Plus isn't available. So that's why something like Mulan, I believe, is going to be on Stars.
I think there's more to that.
Yeah, there definitely is. Because I was like, he's kind of beating around the bush with this, especially in the answers to the Q&A part. So I've been like digging.
I can take a wild shot in the dark, and this is just knowing what I know about the industry. HBO, Showtime, Stars, these kind of channels, they pay for these movies way in advance. Like, part of the money that goes into the movie ahead of time is they pre-sell these films to the Stars networks and all that kind of stuff. I'm wondering if a lot of these movies are already pre-sold to Stars, and that's the case here. And it's just extra revenue for Disney, and they're just saying it this way, but it's actually, they're just hiding the fact that, yeah, they're helping pay for these movies. It's kind of like the whole Star Trek Discovery deal with Netflix.
I don't even follow that deal because
it's actually the way they used to make a lot of movies in the 80s. They would pre-sell them in all kinds of other countries. It's how New Line Cinema was built. They would pre-sell every one of their movies overseas. And to like HBO or whoever first, and all that stuff was done way ahead of time before the film was even begun filming. So, and HBO and Showtime and all these, that's the deals they work out. So it's like it's a hit or miss, but they get a really good deal if you get a big hit film like Independence Day, as opposed to like, oh, you may have paid the same amount for something like Howard the Duck. But you know what? It doesn't matter. You still, it's a gamble for them either way. But they put in X amount of money ahead of time, and they get the cable rights then, and that is extended now into streaming. And Starz is like trying desperately to keep up with HBO and Showtime. And I could see them trying to work out a deal with the two. But the fact that they're not trying to promote Hulu is weird.
Yeah. It's one of the streaming services that I'll admit I keep Hulu just to watch King of the Hill whenever I want. I figure it's worth it. Plus I'll watch some Food Network shows. But overall, like, for as much as I use Hulu, like, I only watch like 4 specific things, and honestly, if a couple of those left, I would leave the service. Same with Netflix. I don't even know why I pay for Netflix anymore, to be honest. I keep seeing those ads for like, oh, combine all your bills and see what you actually use. I don't think I use streaming services much anymore outside of the HBO Max one, because it's free and it's new to us. But I wonder where things are going to go 3 or 4 years from now, because this model across the board isn't sustainable for all these streaming services. Yeah, you have your free ones, like whatever the hell Peacock is. That seems dumb. That, to me, it's like, why would
it's only half, not even half free. Only certain episodes are free. It's like when Hulu first started out.
That's disappointing. Because they were going on and on about the damn, oh, we have Friends, we have The Office, we have Parks and Rec, and all their ads. I'm like, okay, fine, but so does Netflix, so does Hulu for now. Like, I don't get, I mean, I get the contracts and the things that go into the streaming business, but at the same time, I just look at it and go, this is just too much to handle. Like, I almost advocate, like, I just tell people, go buy your favorite movies, because it's like, oh, I got to figure out what platform it's on. More times than not, I go to the Apple TV and do the search all to see where a movie's streaming, or go to Google for it. It's too confusing. It was nice when it was convenient and streamlined.
No, this Mulan deal, I think is kind of patient zero for this. This is what we're going to see in the future. We're going to have all these different services. They're all going to be each individually owned by whatever, creative entity. And you're going to have your premium stuff. And that's the way it's going to work. It may be you're going to get some resistance to it at first, but this is how they're going to want to do it. And they're going to get better and better at stopping pirating and all these other things. And this is the future, folks. They want as much control as possible, and they want as much direct revenue as possible. That was one thing that was pointed out a couple times in this call that's in the breakdown, is direct to consumer. That's what that is. All their money's going into that. They're pushing. That's what they know the future is, and it may not be making money right now, and that's what they keep making excuses for in this call, it sounds like. But it will in the future, according to them.
I think it's going to be off-putting to a lot of people, because people will just find other means of entertainment. I think because
well, the upside is they have to make better movies, definitely.
Yeah. Like look at where your options are. It's all these propaganda preachy movies that bash the audience, and people don't want to keep paying for that. People don't want to keep watching it.
You're right. And that's why, like last week when I gave a recommendation to watch something like a Palm Springs that didn't include a lot of that I don't think any preachiness or any of that overt, we'll just use the phrase SJW-ness. Like, it was just nice to watch a movie and just watch a movie. Mm-hmm. The fact that nowadays, it used to be like, oh, watch the movie, read the comic book or the novel adaptation. Okay, fine. Now it's watch the movie, be lectured to for months on end by some dickhead writer at the Mary Sue, and then, buy the movie anyway because you're obliged to, you racist piece of shit. Like, the marketing team has really dropped the ball in 2020. It's no longer, hey, folks, check out our product. We appreciate you. It's buy our product or else you're whatever. It's almost too much to be a fan of anything in 2020.
Yeah.
It's everyone wants to come up against us like, oh, you're just angry, you're just jaded, you're just jilted at this, you're a bunch of this or that. It's like,
you're entitled. They like to say that.
You're entitled. Like, we are entitled because we're consuming a product, and
they're not entitled to our money. I don't say that. It's like you're not entitled to our money. I have to play the consumer advocate card here because these studios act like we have to buy their product. And you know what? There's other things out there. We don't always have to. We can only take so much. We can only be so, and that's fine. It's fine to be, to be a fan of something. I'm not knocking that. And I get a lot of shit for still buying a Baby Yoda because I think he's adorable and supporting the part of the thing that I like. Because there's part of things that I really, really love and appreciate and want to consume because I am a fan of things. But at the same time, they don't need to get my money for a Rise of Skywalker Blu-ray. Sorry, I'm not going to buy it.
And Andre is. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Mecca, don't let anyone make you feel like shit for having a Baby Yoda. You know what I got? I got the new Luke Skywalker in the Snowspeeder gear. Tough shit, people. Like, oh no, it was cool, and I got one because it's Luke Skywalker. Now I won't pull the trigger on the $100 Snowspeeder because I feel like it's a little too much to give them. But I was like, a couple bucks for Luke is fine. But yeah, the messed up part is with Disney. Like, I'm not afraid to say it. Like, I get these Japanese import X-Men people because I love the X-Men. They look like Jim Lee artwork. And you know what? I hate that Disney owns it, but they bought all the shit up that we all liked anyway. It's not like people are like, oh, you're at the worshiping at the altar of the mouse. The mouse bought my favorite shit a while ago. If they bought The Rock or something, I'd still be like, I like The Rock. I'm going to buy his shit. It just sucks how they come in and they don't even create anymore. They come in, they buy up your favorite creations, and they really just ruin them. Like, you can't even come up with a joke. They just really ruin your favorite properties. They're like
the Borg. Mm-hmm. They assimilate, and then they change it into a drone.
They do.
That's really what it is. Speaking of drones, there's so many people out there that drone the message home. Consume, support, obey, that type of shit. I just don't know where. I get that Disney has a built-in fan base, but this newer mentality of trying to push out the older fan base clearly doesn't work. Mecca and Tom, Anna too, we're all whatever. The ages vary, but the point is we all remember how it used to be just a few short years ago. It's like these people got amnesia and forgot what it's like to have a business vie for your attention with their entertainment. Make a flashy trailer or have a hot actor in the movie. Now it's ideals and politics, and it's just ugly.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And I think Andre puts it best because, I think I can speak for all of us here when we tell you, we don't tell you what to consume, what to enjoy, or what not to enjoy. That's not our jobs, right? We're just here to tell you what we think about something. And like Andre said, if you want to show these companies what you like and what you don't like, then don't go see the things that you don't think you're going to like. Don't support the franchises that are doing badly and doing things that you dislike. And those that are doing things, hey, if you like The Mandalorian, you like Baby Yoda, then like Mecca and Anna and stuff, by all means, go out and buy those things. That shows Disney that's something you like. You know what? And, as some people may like, oh, that's still supporting Disney Star Wars. Yes and no. At the same time, it's supporting Favreau and Filoni and whatnot instead of Kathleen Kennedy Star Wars, though. Mm-hmm. We need to be clear here. That's the thing, is that's what it's showing them, is that all the stuff from the KK movies hasn't sold. Like, none of that stuff done anything.
Well, that's the perfect transition for just a second. Mecca, Anna, I don't want to cut you off. Do you guys have anything you want to add to that point? Because it kind of builds into the next thing that I have planned for tonight.
Oh, Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Cute. Yeah, just us buying. Everyone that gives Mecca shit. Nobody's given me shit for Baby Yoda yet. So I'm what?
I think they're too scared to give you shit for it.
What have they said to you about Baby Yoda?
Oh, just how dare I support and purchase and buy products of Baby Yoda? I believe it was the same person who also said I was a hypocrite for considering purchasing Disney Plus, for thinking about it.
So it's just a crazy person.
Yeah, just a crazy person.
Gotcha. Yeah, us buying Baby Yoda just shows them, hey, we don't like the Rise of Skywalker, but we love fucking Baby Yoda. Give us Baby Yoda.
Yeah, he's cute. That's all I wanted.
This one little baby in that 1 second of the episode where he got introduced defeated Kathleen Kennedy's entire sequel trilogy.
Yep. And I hated the whole show through the whole thing. I was miserable watching it until Baby Yoda. And then I made a video. Was I wrong about this? And, I still don't even like the show. But I like Baby Yoda in there. I like moments of it. I like Gina Carano in there, and I know she's making the rounds too.
Yeah,
that's what this is.
No, the Mandalorian is so fucking stupid. Oh my god, there's no reason he should be alive, and I still haven't finished the show because I hated it. But the baby is so
It gets a little better, but again, I understand people who dislike it and those who love it. So I'm kind of in the middle.
I'm more towards the middle than I thought. I used to really dig the show when it first came out.
Yeah, same here.
I hated the last episode. Episode 4 and episode 8, I thought sucked.
Oh, I didn't mind the last episode, but I know I felt like it got a little worse and then it got better, but yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those shows where I'm on board if it's going to be more of like a villain of the week. Mandalorian comes in, does a job, leaves. The thread that they're trying to build, I don't enjoy. The child should have been dropped off on that planet in episode 3 or 4. I bought into Baby Yoda. I think it's a cute character. That's fine. Do I have the doll? No. But I don't dislike him. What I am is tired of him, though, because I feel like he's served a purpose, and he's being kept around because he sells dolls and little figures and high-end figures with the Mandalorian. Like, the fact that a $300 Baby Yoda doll sold out on Sideshow says something that Star Wars fans are out there. And they like specifically. You got one. Believe me, when it comes to like the Sideshow.
Of course, Anna did.
I got it right when like the website went down, because when they released that on Sideshow, the website crashed, and I got it right when it came back.
Can I say something to this, though, that I think is really important?
Yeah, of course.
At least we're all debate. Here's the thing about The Mandalorian that I hear and that I kind of love, that gets me excited about it, is everybody has a different opinion of why they don't like it or why they like it. It's never the same shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, Baby Yoda is kind of one of the few focal points, but that's one of the few things in the show that's really kind of, one or the other. Either you're pro or you're against it. But otherwise, all the different things that people say about the show, very rarely is it the same exact complaints. You know what that tells me? That tells me it's a debate thing. People are talking about it. They're not talking about how Favreau fucked up Star Wars. They're not talking about how this or that was wrong or bad, or how it just totally I mean, there's things that do destroy certain people's, ideas of what certain things mean in Star Wars. Don't get me wrong. But again, that's still opening that debate, as opposed to like the last 2 films in the sequel trilogy where everybody was pretty much in unison on what the fuck was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, and we all kind of knew where to point the fingers. I enjoy this. I enjoy the debate. I love people getting fired up and passionate again about Star Wars, and not about the people making it so much.
Yeah, and I love the debating part, though, the most, because it's fun to argue. I enjoy arguing about pop culture. I mean, the thing about the podcast that we do is, yeah, me and the guys agree on certain things, but we also disagree about other things. And I do like that The Mandalorian brings out a side of Star Wars fandom that we haven't been able to have a discussion like this
exactly
in honestly over 5 years. Because in the beginning it was, if you don't like the Disney Star Wars, you're the problem. Then everyone hated The Last Jedi, rightly so, and then everyone's still down on the other 2 films, and that, again, rightly so. They've produced something so bad that everyone just agrees that it's shit. It's nice. And here's the thing. People don't defend The Mandalorian because they're opposed to us. That it's not something they care about. A lot of Mandalorian debates are, I like the show, and people don't, and it's vice versa, back and forth. How a real debate would be about entertainment. It's fun. I'm so happy that that's a thing. And, season 2, going to be fun, but who knows how it's going to go. I think I'm going to be paying very close attention to Mandalorian season 2, because that's the show that'll be indicative of what happens when Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger and crew get more invested in a project that they know they didn't at first think was that important. This little streaming show we're going to put out on the streaming service. Fine, this guy's doing his own thing. Well, it caught fire. People really liked what he did, and that's why they're building, the toy line, and the future of Star Wars isn't around the sequel era stuff. It's about the original trilogy and the Mandalorian stuff, and I want to address that in just a second. First off, our friend Obi-Wan 27883 with a giant super chat. Thank you very much, Obi-Wan. I will be texting you personally. He says, on Disney Plus, new rentals, how are they going to buy their own tickets with their marketing budget a la Captain Marvel to have the ability to have so many sub accounts? Totally not sustainable with the investors. Visibility to losses will be apparent.
Can I say this?
You can say whatever you
I'm
want.
not saying that they didn't fudge the numbers on Captain Marvel before anybody lynches me, but I really don't think they did nearly as much as some of the conspiratorial stories are. I do believe there's probably certain things that can be explained, and one of them is mainly this. Captain Marvel came out smack dab in the middle of 2 of the biggest movies of all time, and they left us with a promise that this movie was somehow going to tie in, which it didn't.
They just flat out lied.
No.
And guarantee guarantee you if they released that movie before or after that event, it would not have done nearly as well. And I think almost everybody could agree with me on that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I will say that I think there are some issues with the numbers because remember, they were giving out free tickets no matter what you spent. If you spent $50 at American Eagle, you got a Captain Marvel ticket. I just wonder how many of those things, the promos, would add up more.
That's what I'm thinking. A lot of that is these people seeing empty theaters were like promo things that were given away, and either people just didn't go or they couldn't get people to take them. But again, there's still quite a few people who went.
Well, and then there's all the reports of, and I know Bounding into Comics did reports on this, and I've done videos on these, where you had people, like theater owners saying, yeah, we had 25 seats sold down in front where nobody sits anyway, and nobody showed up.
And it only but the thing is with it is only makes sense so far is like, okay, it could fudge your numbers to make your numbers look good, but in the end, what overall are you really accomplishing other than that? I mean, because you're only getting a portion of that money back, and it just
they can write it off as a business expense for marketing.
Yeah, it's illegal. You're getting into a lot of like gray areas, I guess, that I'm not gonna get down into rabbit holes now. But again, my point is that if it was any other time, there's no way they could have even fudged it to make it look that good.
So here's the thing, too. Our friend Phil Arcona says, don't forget the Fox deal was mostly stock and happening at the time. Disney needed their stock level really high at exactly the time Captain Marvel came out, ...
To a point, yes. But here's the thing that everybody forgets about the whole Disney Fox thing is Disney got played like a motherfucker. They got so played. Their original initial offering was so much lower, and then Universal come in throwing their dick around. And I wouldn't be surprised if Universal never had any intentions whatsoever of buying Fox. It was just they were just trying to help up. They were like working with Fox, I think. And again, this is if it was true, then it'd be a big illegal thing. But no, they never would have paid $70 billion for that if there wasn't some kind of bidding war going on. So,
well, I hope that's the case because, like I always say, a weak Disney equals a strong pop culture landscape because everyone else has a chance.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't want to use that analogy because it's switched. I was going to say Disney's like Johnny and we're all like Danielson, but in the future, Johnny's the hero and Daniel's a dick. So, whatever. I still need to see season 2 of that show. It's so good.
Well, Disney's a weird thing. I mean, it's the last company that survived the moguls, being sold out. Walt Disney was the last man standing. And then when he passed, it became a pale comparison of itself until Eisner came in and injected, some life back into it. And then he damn near destroyed it. And then we've seen Bob Iger do the same exact thing. So like all it's been doing is just repeating. It's been on repeat for the last, 40 years now. I don't know. But you're right. They were always this kind of golden, everybody wanted to be Disney or wanted to work for Disney, or if you could get a Disney picture, it was a big deal. Like they were the thing, I mean, as far as them going down in flames at this point, I'm with you, man. I never thought I'd feel that way, but I've seen them destroy way too much that I'd love, and I see what they do and I know what they do. I don't know what Anna feels about that because I know she has really, deep ties with Disney, but
I've done plenty of videos talking about how it's not the same anymore, and you can look at that and see how like a company, it's like when we all had like our first job, when we were teenagers, and it was fun, like with the coworkers, with the experience. But when you go back to, where you had your first job, you have those memories of it, but it's not the same place anymore because all that energy is gone. The people aren't there. And so everyone that worked at Disney that made it magical, they're not there anymore. It's all of these money hungry idiots that don't know the first thing about being creative.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to talk about this because, one, I'm going to make a video on it, and I want to talk about it with you guys. And Anna, you were going to be here, and I know in the room, you and I are the two biggest Star Wars collectors in terms of actual figures. I know people send you stuff. You and I have had many discussions about Star Wars figures. It's always been something we've had in common. Now, I wanted to share this because we always talk about Hasbro sales down and Star Wars sales down, but here's something interesting. Hasbro sales revenue is down 29%, but Star Wars sales are up 35%. So,
Yoda.
yeah. Now, people want to say that it's Baby Yoda. I would argue, though, that if you take a closer look at the slate of Star Wars figures over the last year, post Rise of Skywalker, original trilogy, prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
We're talking play sets, we're talking vehicles, we're talking everything. They're pulling out the big guns because they're desperate. We've had a couple years of the Kathleen Kennedy mandated, and this is not me making shit up. You can go back and watch her interview. I believe it is Variety magazine. She's wearing. I did a video on it with her sound bites. They wanted to make Star Wars more interesting to girls, so they had Star Wars Barbies, and they brought out the Forces of Destiny diversity dolls that looked like rats, and it didn't work. We spent 5 years of fans having this old school stuff pushed to the side, and for Kylo Ren and Rey and all these new heroes that nobody ever got into, and so when they stop that, sales go up. So I find it interesting. There's a correlation between Star Wars sales and when you're going back to the original trilogy well. There's really no bottom to that well. I mean, Anna, how many Luke Skywalker figures do you have?
Fuck, I don't know. Too many to count.
Yeah. And the same thing with me. I have a lot of Han Solo figures, a lot of Spider-Man stuff. It's the same company Hasbro that does all the shit. But these old characters are perennial favorites. There's a reason why you can sell a $100 snowspeeder with a Dak Ralter figure, but you can't sell a $45 or $60 Rey on her little speeder from the episode 7 opener, because those characters suck. To me, honestly, folks, this is just another victory lap. This is me just rubbing salt in the wound. But it's nice that Hasbro is a business, money first, so they're not focused on, we have to appeal to this demographic because whatever ideology kick we're on. It's straight up a business directive. So I'm very happy to see that. Are you guys surprised at any of this?
Hell no.
I can't really see the chart. Is there any way you can zoom in a bit?
Yeah, I can zoom in.
All I can see is that it gets lower and lower. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know what it says over it. Oh, okay. This is just like quarters and whatnot. It would be interesting to see like in
the link.
Stores and stuff. Okay, cool.
So yeah, this is a bit more your domain, Anna. But yeah, I mean, what I see here is just no interest. Absolutely.
Well, Jeff, I'm sure you know, but for anyone in the chat that isn't aware of this yet, so they are doing like Target exclusive now. So when you're at Disneyland or Walt Disney World, they will release like a specific toy, and people are fucking crazy that love Disneyland and Disney World. And I think you guys all saw what happened on Twitter where like I wanted that Fox plushie, and it like all the people bought out all the Fox plushie, and Drunk had to go find and like rescue one for me. But when they release exclusive toys just at the parks, it'd be like if you just go to get one individual action figure, and at Target it's like $7 or $8. At Disneyland it's like between $20 to $30 for one individual action figure. So they have like theme park exclusive figures. And so now, because the theme parks are closed, or at least Disneyland is closed, they're doing a whole line of Disneyland. There you go. Disneyland exclusive.
Yeah, you were talking about that. Yeah.
But so everyone's like, oh, they're sold out already. I'm like, yes, that's because people buy them in bulk and then they resell them for absurd amounts of money. So that's why they are, of course, it's going to sell out instantly. But then those people are going to find out, oh, hey, maybe not everyone wants to spend $300 on a Millennium Falcon. That's not a vintage one.
Well, you know why everyone is buying this ship, Anna, but I'm going to tell the audience. It's because this toy came out in 2008. It is the best Millennium Falcon ever made, and the recession hit right afterwards, and people weren't buying this thing. So you could get this thing for $50. It's a great toy. Anyway, long story short, 2012-ish, they re-released it in a vintage box with the same color scheme, same everything. Again, weird economic time. It doesn't really sell as well as it should. But you talked about scalpers earlier. People buy it up and they resell it. This thing can go for $500 on the secondhand market, new in box. The reason why this toy is popular, folks, isn't because of Galaxy's Edge, and I wish people would know this. It's because in the Star Wars community, this is a holy grail piece, and you're paying so much to get this piece. Luckily, I have one. It was gifted to me many years ago. But that is why people are going to be able to say, oh, Star Wars toys from Galaxy's Edge are in high demand. Look, folks, pay attention to the box. If you read closely, it says at the bottom, Star Wars A New Hope and Smuggler's Run. So it's clearly the same old toy. That's why it includes the original dish. The only thing this has over the original one, it's got a better paint job. It looks a little more weathered. It still comes with Chewbacca, and it comes with a bunch of bullshit porgs. So, yeah, the premiums at the Disneyland park, it's important, but, you know.
Oh, well, because then they have the other like Star Wars, Disney Star Wars toys. This is the only one, I believe, that was the actual, Star Wars toy. But remember when we were at Star Wars Celebration, and I think we both pointed at the same booth, and it had the giant Millennium Falcon one, and I think they had a few boxes of this under it.
They had...
They had a few, because I know you and I were just walking around pointing at toys. We're like, look at that one, look at that.
Anna, if anyone ever sends you this to the P.O. box, it's going to be the coolest thing you ever get Millennium Falcon-wise. Just good luck with the space, because it's 2.5 feet long.
Yeah, so it's going to be about the same size as I am.
Pretty much. It would be just funny to watch you carry the thing, because when I've moved it around, like my friend in college gave it to me, so it used to live in my dorm, and then I brought it home. It took up a front seat. So I would just love to see you walk around trying to fly this thing around, or at least just move it from room to room. It's huge. The box is massive.
What figures does that come with? What the hell?
It's Hondo. So this is another thing that doesn't make sense, and I've tried to explain it to people, but people don't watch the animated show, so they don't know. Hondo is a character that was introduced in the animated Clone Wars TV show, and then he was also in Rebels. Okay, people are like, well, Anna was in Rebels. Disney did Rebels. I'm like, I know. But Rebels, newsflash, takes place before New Hope. How the fuck old is Hondo supposed to be? He was old in the Clone Wars. He was old as hell in Rebels. This dude is basically a skeleton walking around if he's in the sequel trilogy era. But anyways.
Well, you don't put that kind of thought into this stuff, Anna. The fans do. They don't.
Well, no, I'll tell you. In my Star Wars, when I walked around Galaxy's Edge, and I'm like, he should not be here. He is way too old. But then everyone's like, he was in Rebels. I'm like, you didn't watch Rebels, obviously.
What did you have pulled up, Tom?
Oh, this is where their money's going. That should be a familiar sight for you, Jeff.
Go.
Oh, I have seen more. My hands have touched more Rose Ticos than anyone on the planet that hasn't worked in a Hasbro facility.
Stay phrasing. Well, this is it, folks. This is why they're not selling anything.
It's not even a fun. Okay, this is what blows my mind looking at these new figures. Disney now, with all the money they have, how come they can't make action figures that bend at the joints? Like they're like the old school Kenner ones where they don't bend at the elbows or at the knees. And I'm like, my action figures from the Phantom Menace are better than these ones that Disney has. All of the prequel ones, say what you want about the movies, those toys are fucking awesome.
Yeah, because each prequel film, the toy line got more advanced. So when you get to your first episode 1 toys, the figures can now hold the lightsabers with 2 hands to mimic the film, the action. So that's cool. That's a step in the right direction. Episode 2, they get a little more lifelike. They have metal lightsabers. They have guns that have better holsters and all that stuff. 3, everyone has elbow articulation and bendable knees. You're 100% right, Anna. It was around 2013. So right after Disney got in the picture, Hasbro started selling these 5-inch 5 points of articulation figures that took away, all the great joints and all the detail, and they carried that over to the new Star Wars line. Collectors tried to make the excuse, it's like the vintage collection, guys. In reality, it's Hasbro trying to cut corners because the Star Wars license fee is so expensive. And while every other piece of technology advances, you have better TVs, you have better cell phones, all this other stuff, better toys at other lines in Hasbro, Star Wars toys go back by 30 years. And they're not trying to sell you that vintage aesthetic. They're just trying to sell you cheap figures, and it doesn't work. Yep. So.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense why my Luke Skywalker figure that came out with, what was it, the Power of the Force? Or no, let me look up on my wall. It was the blue box set that came out when the Attack of the Clones. You know which one I'm talking about, right, Jeff? They're blue and they have gold branding.
Yeah. Yes, the Legacy Collection, I think is what they called it.
Yes, that one. Okay, so how come my Luke Skywalker from that it can move his joints and it's a better action figure of Luke Skywalker than my action figure, or obviously I don't have this action figure, but the action figure of Luke Skywalker from The Last Jedi, or Jake Skywalker, I should say. That's probably why he can't move his arms, because it's Jake, not Luke.
He's an
Get off my lawn.
It's ridiculous, because even when they did Rebels, now take in mind Rebels wasn't that popular, or it wasn't as popular as the Clone Wars, but some of my favorite figures are the Clone Wars action figures. Like I collect action figures, so I have a bunch. Or one of the action figures that they made was a Mon Calamari, which is the same species as oh my god, why am I blanking his
Admiral
name?
Akbar?
Yes, Admiral Akbar. Sorry. Just had a brain fart. Okay, so he was only in one episode because, spoiler, he dies. He is Kit Fisto's apprentice, and General Grievous kills him in this one episode where they go to find where General Grievous's lair is. I have his action figure, and that action figure of that one character that's in one 30-minute episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars is a better made action figure than anything that Disney has made with the sequels and with Rebels. Because Rebels, they don't have, they don't bend at the joints either. It's ridiculous.
It bothers me too, because I collect action figures to a stupid degree. I care about the details, and Star Wars
makes action figure sex impossible.
I feel like Ethan found a way with all the Rosticos, though.
Oh yeah. Oh, and then like the die cast, that blew my mind with the Disney Store releasing all of those die casts, because I got some for my nieces and my nephews, and the first thing that they do when they open them, because they didn't have individual action figures, they just had those PVC sets, and I was like, I don't want a fucking PVC set. This is like the stuff that you get for cake topping. I need an action figure for these kids. I'm like, all right, this is a bit bigger, won't match the rest of the toys, but this is what they're making, so I got to get it. They're like, what, almost $30. I get them. The kids open them. They're like, this is heavy. This is metal. Like, it's hard to move. You drop it on the floor because it's just paint on metal. You drop it, it chips. When it's the plastic from the prequels, you drop it, guess what? Maybe you get a scrape on it, but that's about it.
Yeah. And it's just interesting how everyone's like, you guys talk about the merchandise a lot, because Star Wars was built on it. They can't even get the most basic part of Star Wars correct. It's like, how can we...
That's what every toy line's tried to be. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No, don't apologize, man. But no,
I apologize for interrupting. But
it's fine. But yes, every toy line wants to be the Star Wars toy line. I mean, it launched in 1978 is when they, had the figures come out from the early bird certificate. But they launched it, and it was popular through 85. It went away for a while, came back. Star Wars has been on shelves every year since 1995. You've had new figures come out each year. What other toy line can say that nonstop? I mean, even a Spider-Man line comes and goes. Batman, same thing. They do have pretty consistent lines, but Star Wars had always been that staple. And it's not until the biggest entertainment company in the world bought it that it fell apart. And it's just kind of sad and interesting, though. So I
do have a little George Lucas story.
Oh, let's hear it.
That's toy related. And Spaceballs related.
Ooh, Spaceballs, I'm listening.
Okay, I don't know. I want to find this interview, but I believe it was Mel Brooks, obviously.
Merchandising.
Yeah, he had one deal because he went to George Lucas to get, the A-OK to do Spaceballs. And George is like, yeah, I'm okay with it. Just don't make any merchandise. And so they had a screening for the film with George, so he could have a look at it and sign off on it again. And Mel was like freaking out because he wasn't laughing at all through the whole movie. And of course, most of us know how much of a cold fish George is, of course. And he just doesn't laugh and stuff like that unless it's like in weird times. He's like, the one time you hear George laugh was the part where Dark Helmet is playing with the toys.
Oh yeah.
And Colonel Sanders comes in and he goes, "No, sir, I have not been seeing you play with your toys again." He's like, "Good." And he goes,
"Did you see anything?" "No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your toys." Good.
He says he got a little chuckle out of that scene. He goes, otherwise not a sound out of him the rest of the movie. He goes, after the screening, he goes, "Oh, I loved it. It was hilarious." I like that, especially the merchandise thing. That was great. So he's like, oh, thankfully he loved the film, but I thought it bombed with him. But he's like, all of a sudden, he's like, just a little laugh in that scene he got out of him, I guess. So he's like picturing, I'm sure he's picturing George Lucas just sitting there playing with the Star Wars toys.
Oh, I love that movie.
I do too. Best Star Wars movie since the originals.
It really is.
Let's see what some of our listeners are saying about the on the super chat. So first off, I want to give a shout out to there we go. You never go plaid. I agree with that one. Trilar, thank you very much. He says it's a Gundam is missing on that party list. It's a Gundam's missing on a list of people who have been on the High Council. I'd like to make that happen too. It's a highly requested one, folks.
You, but I doubt he will.
He what?
I said I can ask him for you, but I doubt he will.
I can ask. At least, you know what? The audience can't get mad if I asked so. Leo Breaker 49 says, Dan Fan and Leona K are female YouTubers who cover anime, comics, and gaming news with very similar views to us. Oh, okay. So there's a clarification why those people or those women were on the list. Again, it's not about being comic skater or fandom menace. It's they have an opinion we don't agree with, so we lump them into a list, a category. So there we go. Space Monkey 0899, thank you very much. I suggest getting Hero High on the High Council. Well, I will take a screenshot of that person's name, and I will see what they're all about.
Oh yeah, he's been on Geeks and Gamers, and yeah.
All right. Well, since he's already cool with Jeremy and stuff, we'll see if we can make that happen. Benito Martinez, says, what's the best way to get a hold of you, Jeff? I have Arch in my Discord. I can pass it along really quickly. Benito, do me a favor.
Smoke signal.
Smoke signal. Yes, I'll eventually. Dude, there's a huge fire out here. We drove past this called the Apple Fire. It was massive. It kind of ruined a little bit of our trip because the smoke blocked out all the stars. It was a little weird. But anyway, I digress. Point is, Benito Martinez, if you shoot an email to the show and say, hey, it's me, and then you tell Kendo to forward it to me, Kendo will. So that is the best way to contact me personally, Benito Martinez. And then I'll just respond to you from my own email address, and we can talk that way. Taker610 says, Jeff, are you going to WrestleMania 37 in Inglewood? Yes, I go to WrestleMania every year. Sadly, the coronavirus ruined that streak. I had been to every one since 2006. But I bought tickets, so it still technically counts as I was going to go. It just never happened. But yeah, I definitely am Taker610. So if you're going to be in the area and you want to hang out pre or post WrestleMania, I'm trying to get all the guys out here. And I think it's a 40-minute drive. So WrestleMania week next year is going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully you're going to be out here and we'll hang out. I know our friend Care Companion is a local and he might go. So that'll be fun as well.
Jeff, there's this one wrestler that he has a YouTube channel and he live streams all the time. Let me see if I can find him.
Is he a black guy? Xavier Woods? Up, down,
No,
down?
he's white and he has long blonde hair.
Oh, okay. Send me who it is. I do not know, but I would. I
will send you a link to his channel when I find it. Give me a minute. Keep reading super chats.
All right. Let's see. Barney the Space Source Woke Reek says Brie Larson equals white Beyonce. Yeah, but Beyonce had some talent, right? She wrote. Well, she didn't write any of her music. She sang it, so I can't really knock her. Brie Larson, I haven't heard her music, so I can't knock her either.
Oh, it's auto-tune.
Oh yeah, it's very, very Disney princessy, wannabe sounding, very nasally.
She is just not. I can't. There's nothing she's done that I've gone. Well, I take the back. I like 21 Jump Street. She's a part of that, and I like her in there. So there we go. See a lot of love for Chris Jericho in the chat. He's my second favorite wrestler of all time. So.
Oh, I think that's a person.
Oh, is that who you're talking about?
Let me see. Maybe. Yeah, Chris Jericho. Yeah, he has a YouTube channel and he live streams all the time.
I love Chris Jericho. I met him once. It was interesting. Yeah. So, Anna, a lot of the times these wrestlers, what they do is they play characters. So if a wrestler's a good guy, when you meet him in public, they tend to be nice. And if they're playing the bad guy, they'll kind of be dicks. So I met Chris Jericho and he was a bad guy. And I ended up doing something that made him break character for just a second. So I was very proud of that moment. So if you're a wrestling fan, if you could get Chris Jericho to break character for just even a second, you know that you succeeded. So Brie was the worst part of 21 Jump Street. No, she was not the worst part of 21 Jump Street. The worst part of 21 Jump Street was Dave Franco. He just was not funny in that movie. She was drunk and barely in it, so I didn't
mind him in it. I thought it was
I
pretty
think the
good.
thing with Brie Larson was that makes you like her character is because Jonah Hill likes her and you're invested in Jonah Hill, and because Jonah Hill likes her and like wants to be with her, even though it's like, dude, you're a full grown man, she's a teenager, it makes her endearing. But if he wasn't interested in her, she's kind of a cunt.
That's probably a good point. I never really thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Now I'm never gonna look at the movie the same way. Thanks, Anna.
You're welcome. It's all depends on your point of view. Wink, wink. Cock,
All right,
cock.
baby. By the way, folks, Kendo and I on our Patreon this week did our top 10 top 5 wrestlers of all time. Turned out to be an hour-long show. So if you ever want more wrestling content, we cover it there because people on the channel don't necessarily gravitate towards it, but we do love our wrestling. So there you go. Cheap plug. Tim Riggs, thank you very much. He says, reaction channels with 1% of the subs she has, probably unlike her food, her YouTube growth isn't organic, gets more views than her 4th video. I'm really looking forward to the ratios on the next 10. In terms of Brie Larson. Go ahead, Anna.
Oh, no, I'm just laughing.
It was funny how when I was reading the comments this past week on her stuff, people are like, oh, this channel's dead for Brie Larson. Then a new one pops up and it's got a lot of views. I just think the woke BS that she wants to put out there, it just isn't going to catch on. And, I've never watched a video called a conversation about something and you don't actually have a conversation at all. It's the biggest bait and switch in history. It's like, oh, we're going to have a conversation about, black and white relations in America. But your whole conversation is a conversation about that. It's too meta. You don't get to the point, and you lose points. Dale, thank you very much. He says, Brie Larson can't human very well because she's a damn robot, dude. If what's that movie? Tom, remember V back in the day where the aliens came down?
Oh, yeah, I've got them.
Oh, that's fantastic.
If Brie Larson was one of those creatures from V, I would go, okay, I knew aliens were real the whole time, and she's infiltrated Hollywood. There we go. I wouldn't be mad.
She just wants to be people. Maybe she means she just wants to eat people.
Oh, well, now she can have their souls.
Did you know that they remade V and they used the chick that was in Deadpool?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a good actress, but I didn't know they remade it.
It wasn't horrible. They quit. It ended early though. They canceled it or whatever.
Yeah, I think because nobody knew about it.
Is it better than the Knight Rider remake?
I never watched the Knight Rider remake. I mean, it was one of those few times where it was like so different from the original, but yet they took a lot of the original's ideas and just expanded on them. And it paid homage, but it didn't really seem to step on it. And it was before all the woke business in Hollywood, so maybe that's another reason why it was good. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it was pretty good. Oh, see, it was going okay. So yeah, nobody's disagreeing with me.
Let's see. Up next, we have our friend Tim Riggs. Says Bree's workout video looks like she's trying to push out the rest of the rectal cleansing or her latest boyfriend's head. Ugh. I don't really watch her videos even out of curiosity because I know it's going to be fake. I can't human, but hey, we brought back Comment Slam, so be on the lookout. Kendo and I roast her for about 40 minutes, so I'll have to break that up into a couple parts, but it's a lot of fun. Craft75, thank you very much again for your giant super chat. I'm going to reread this. Thank you. Anna, love all your content. Midnight, love your stuff. Mecha, love you too. And Jeff, here's a little something to keep the lights on. Jesse, love you. Yeah. I just watched What We Left Behind, the DS9 doc, for the first time ever, and there really should be a happy crying emoji. Well, like we said, Craft75, we are going to check that out. I did take a screenshot of your the documentary because even if I'm not invested in Deep Space Nine, Deep Space Nine, I can't say it, I will watch the documentary on it. So thank you. Drake is 6 says Captain Blue Tea Waffle with repower. You know what you should do, Drake is 6? Do what Grand Theft Auto does. If you want to use the phrase Captain Twat Waffle, put the @ symbol, and there you go. You circumvent their censorship.
So I want credit, though. Excuse that I trademarked Jesse Milestone, Mindless Entertainment.
You trademarked that one?
Trademarking Captain Twat Waffle.
So do you want a quarter every time someone says the name Green Goblin, too?
No. I just want credit.
Okay.
I don't need any money. I just want credit.
Fair enough.
My phrase. You're welcome, world.
Cash Kester just wanted to say hail the High Council into the chat. Thank you, Cash Kester. Hail to you too, friend. Mega Jetty 1 says hail High Council and welcome Jesse and Anna. Burn Mecca. Why are we gonna burn Mecca? She's nice.
She's a witch.
I might be a witch.
Oh, fair
Can't
enough.
prove I'm not.
Greg Kirby says, "Give me the snoo snoo." I think that's from South Park. Is that the snoo snoo alert?
That was my goodness and rendering.
Snell World says Finn Finn would have been a decent character if he would have become a Jedi. Finn, a Jedi? All joking aside, he would have been, because it would have been an actual story arc. But they neutered him mid ascension to greatness.
Sorry, but Mace Windu is a Black Jedi, and that fills up the Black Jedi quota for the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, last minute.
The quota has been filled. There can no longer be Black Jedi in Star Wars.
Only one Black Jedi per generation?
Yes, that is the quota.
The Yoda quota?
The Yoda quota.
Hello, what have we here?
Yoda's racist. Cancel Yoda.
Oh, that's why we have Baby Yoda now.
Mm-hmm.
He's 25% different and 25% the size.
He's 25% less racist.
Yeah. Rezakai, thank you very much. The woke came for Gina Carano the last few days on Twitter. That eraser has been logging it. She's been giving as good as she's been getting.
Yeah, she's been responding to some of us.
I just said, yeah, I seen she said something to Uche that Mecca sent me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, Jeffrey Turner, aka Mega Jetty One, sent in a clarification super chat that says the burn Mecca was towards her burn on Brie earlier.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for the clarification, Mega Jetty One. I appreciate that. But this Gina Carano stuff is news to me because I put my phone away over the weekend because we went out of town for the anniversary. So I'll have to look this up for videos.
The short version is this: she refused to bend the knee to the re, so then everybody started reeing.
Good for her. I already liked her as an actress because she plays her part well. Quiet kind of bouncer chick, and then you put her in other stuff, and if she plays the same role like in Deadpool, it works. She's not a great actress by Oscar standards or whatever you consider acting standards, but she's good at what she does. She's like Dolph Lundgren, Dolph Lundgren wasn't going to win any awards, but you put him in the right role, and he's awesome. So
I must break you.
God, it's that role right there. And by the way, when I mean Dolph Lundgren in a role, Gina Carano is more like Dolph Lundgren in A View to a Kill as opposed to Rocky. That's just me clarifying it. Macy
he dies.
Dude, one of these weekends I want to do a whole Rocky weekend.
Ooh.
I just watched Creed and Creed 2 last week again.
I still need to see that.
Oh, Creed 2 is so good.
By the way, folks, this weekend, Beverly Hills Cop on the channel, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, about 1 p.m. Pacific. We might be about 5 to 10 minutes a little later. But yeah, that's where Tom's going to join us for Midnight's Edge. It'll be the boys and I. It'll be a drinking stream. It's going to be a big one. One of our most requested films. So get prepared.
Did you get the new Blu-ray with the new deleted scenes on it?
I have not. I did watch the deleted scene where he's talking to the other cop who's eating a steak. Okay. It's so bizarre to see deleted scenes from a movie that I have burned into my brain.
Right? I almost wish they'd put the TV version on there too, just for posterity's sake, because if you've ever seen the TV version, it consists of like 75% retakes. Like they knew the movie was going to be way too hard to edit for television, so they just reshot the scenes without all the swearing. So the TV version is made up of the alternate takes mostly.
Which is, for me, loving that movie, I've only watched it on home video. I think because it's on TV, I'm like, it's going to be censored, so I never have watched it on TV. But if you ever find a link to it, let me know.
Yeah,
at least
really weird.
I'd love to check it out. Let's see. Our friend Macy Van Dusen says the original Star Trek is the best. I agree. That is my personal favorite Star Trek. So, Adrian Reynolds says Amazon has enhanced the original series and TNG. CBS All Access has the original. Well, thank you, Adrian, for the correction. I thought it was a little different back on Amazon a couple of years ago, but I was wrong. So I could still check it out on any platform. But I choose Netflix to watch my Star Trek because it knows where I was last time. Andrew Clark says, will Mandalorian Season 2 be written as badly as the first? I mean, if you consider that bad and the second one's as bad as the first, then I'm going to like it because I liked where we went for the most part.
I have a feeling, and I don't know if Anna wants to add or anything to this, what she knows about it. From what I've been hearing, it's going to be a lot more member berries in the second season.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be great for content, though.
Well, I mean, Jesse and I were talking about it on our matriarchy show how we were looking over all of these cameos and all these characters that are going to be in it. And because it's Dave Filoni, because Dave Filoni did all the animated shows, so unlike the general public, he knows all these damn characters that you only know if you watch the animated shows. So all of these characters, like Ahsoka, like Bo-Katan, and who is it? Also Sabine, and how they would play into this. And so I was kind of explaining it to Jessie, and that's when she had her little epiphany of, oh my God, that's what that all-female show is going to be. But so how Rebels ended, if nobody in the chat watched it, there's going to be spoilers, so go if you don't want to hear it, even though it's been out for years. Rebels ended with Ezra and Thrawn having a final battle, but guess what? They ripped off Star Trek with the space whales, because remember that episode, Mecca and Tom, and I don't know if you saw it, Jeff, but in the Next Gen with that spaceship that's like, it lives and it's organic and it lives within space. And the one dude that was from Beta Z that was born telepathic, and he communicated with it, and they took off. They kind of ripped off that and space creature thing. So there's space whales that use the Force to travel through space, and they can, jump into hyperspace within the blink of an eye.
So they ripped off the tardigrades too.
Yeah, they did. So actually, I think this was before Discovery. So they ripped it off before.
Well,
Discovery.
that's kind of still, they kind of ripped that off from Dune then.
Yeah. Well, so basically Ezra and Thrawn get swallowed by the space whale, then gets teleported to some other part of the galaxy. And Ahsoka and Sabine end Rebels getting in a ship together because they are going to go and look for Ezra and Thrawn. And so it would make sense, or I guess like this is their logic behind it, is if in one of the Mandalorian episodes, because since Ahsoka's going to be in it, Sabine's going to be in it, Bo-Katan's going to be in it. Bo-Katan, for those of you that don't know, she is the rightful ruler of Mandalore now. So have that person, the rightful ruler of Mandalore, be in the Mandalorian show. Have Sabine, who's also a Mandalorian, be in the Mandalorian show, and it would make sense for her and Ahsoka to stop by or to run into the Mandalorian while they're searching for Ezra, and it could be a tie-in to introduce Thrawn.
That grunt was legit. The member berries is gonna kill the show. That's all I can say is the member berries is gonna kill the show.
Well, the problem is, it's like somebody like me that watched it and knew it, but then like me explaining it to you guys and me explaining it to Jessie, it's like not everyone's gonna get it, and so Wikipedia is probably gonna break down because everyone's gonna have to go Google who all these fucking people are. And
I think Star Wars is making the mistake of fan interaction. People, when they're watching these shows, the reason the old Star Wars worked as well as they did is because everyone's on this journey together. Now it's a whole thing of like, did you read this book? Did you watch this episode? Did you do that? Well, you better do all these things to understand it, and you're going to lose people because it's such a daunting task to be caught up on everything. It's never been the case for any kind of entertainment where it requires so much damn effort to just watch something.
Well, it's just because Dave Filoni is so obsessed with his characters that it's like, okay, we get it. You created this character back in 2000 and something. You love it. You're obsessed with it. You probably have wet dreams about it. Create another fucking character at this point,
I agree.
Stop with the Jedi space wolves that can time travel. Stop with that. Stop with all of these, ridiculous whammon characters. Just create a new damn character. You have a brand new show. I think John did the Baby Yoda. So you got Baby Yoda. You got Gina Carano's character. Come up with some new characters. Stop trying to shoehorn in all these others. Now, if it was something where it's like, oh, he walks into a cantina and Ahsoka and Sabine are sitting in the corner and that's like a cool Easter egg. But I think Jessie was on the money with this is probably going to be how they introduce Sabine and Ahsoka, and it'll lead into a spin-off show that Leslie Headland will, because it's, the all women Star Wars show. And so, and it's going to take place in a different part of the galaxy. Okay, so it's Ahsoka and Sabine that get introduced to Mandalorian. So people that didn't watch the animated shows see those characters, and then they go to a different part of the galaxy to look for Ezra and Thrawn.
Yeah, Filoni's all orange man bad, orange woman good.
Orange alien woman so good.
Especially if she's furry.
No, Ahsoka doesn't have hair.
I
She
know,
does
I
not-
know.
Well, it's gonna be weird seeing Rosario Dawson play.
He's
her,
just,
but-
it's the whole furry joke with him.
Oh, yeah, I don't know too much about him, but the wolf thing is a little weird to me.
Let's see. Our friend Snowworld says Rad looks awesome in HD. So I assume that's on Disney Plus. I'll have to check out. Well, it's
Is
on
it
there.
really?
He says Rad looks awesome in HD.
I know. I asked where it was and I missed what you said.
Oh, no, he literally just says it like that. I mean, it was during the context of our Disney Plus conversation.
Oh, wow.
So-
Okay.
Darian217 says the current world economic state of the consumer pocketbook will dictate what you need to have something that makes consumers want to sell out. If it's not worth the bottom line, no one's buying it. Darian217, I couldn't agree more with you on that statement. It's funny how so many people are mentally conditioned to see the Disney logo and assume that they have to buy it. But the way the world's working right now, Disney might not be a priority for everybody, especially, yes, maybe if you have a family of 5 and it's cheaper to rent one movie and stay at home and eat dinner, I get the value. But like earlier it was brought up, Jesse and I paying $30 to rent Mulan, not worth a damn. And a lot of people are going to pirate it, and I can't condone or shame it publicly, so read between the lines.
Our
Arg, matey. Kulex81 says, chances of Disney having to file for Chapter 11. I'm going to go very slim. They got a lot of money in the bank. Any thoughts?
They're going to end up selling things like Hong Kong Disney and all. They got to get rid of those things because they're. So here's the thing.
Hong Kong is really good for them because
But they can't keep them right now. They're under investigation for all this shit. Like the whole TikTok thing or whatever. It's gonna blow up in their face.
Yeah, but the thing about Hong Kong Disney, because Hong Kong, since it's still part of China, but there's more freedom to do more things with Hong Kong Disney. So that, like, I don't think necessarily they would have to censor as much stuff at the parks as compared to mainland China.
Although, interestingly, though, a few months ago, the U.S., I believe, officially changed its status on how it recognizes Hong Kong because Beijing was influencing. They had a presence there, and they were doing something under the guise of making it safe for some conference. But the presence sort of stayed, and basically some of those freedoms have broken down. And I believe in the U.S., I don't know if the whole UN does this as well, but basically the U.S. said we don't recognize you as independent from China anymore. So I wonder how that, moving forward, how that situation will impact Disney's operations in Hong Kong.
Well, if anybody saw one of our last videos on this, the government is already kind of looking into Disney. Besides the tax stuff and all the other stuff, they're looking at their Chinese influence.
We could watch a giant fall. I know I shouldn't have much Schadenfreude for that, but I do.
No, but they're not joking. Like, they are taking this very seriously. So I have a feeling Disney's going to quickly sell off any attachment or assets that have anything to do with that before this gets real messy. But again, I don't know for sure. This is me speculating. So,
well, it's going to be fun to watch no matter what happens with Disney. Seriously, I mean, people are always talking about, content and stuff to cover for the channel. There's fountains of this shit, mountains of it, fountains of it, all kinds of large things, large bodies of it. It's just going to be crazy to watch the next couple of months. I'm very excited to see where Disney goes at the end of this year. And if, you talked about the Cinemark window and all these other things that are, they're going to fight. I'm really curious to see how Black Widow does and how do we rank the MCU moving forward in terms of box office stability. So it'll be fun.
It's sad because I think AMC sees the bigger picture and they took the deal because it's smart for both sides. Cinemark doing this, all it's doing is prolonging the inevitable.
Yeah. Drake is sixes. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, because in the end, we're at this point where movies, like Mecca was pointing out, and we all have kind of said at some point in this podcast, these movies wind up online so quickly that 3-week window is fine for the theaters and for the studios. I don't see why they can't work with that. And all that means is once a movie goes out of theaters, there's a 3-week window before it goes on to digital and then video and all that kind of stuff. That's all it is. It doesn't mean a movie can't stay in theaters forever. Like if a movie like Avengers is playing like hotcakes, they'll keep it in theaters as long as they can. That's up to the studios and the theaters to worry about. But like Cinemark's like, screw this, because they think it's going to erode their box office intake. But what are you going to do? It's already eroded. So it's like you're just fighting the inevitable. That's all I was going to say. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine, man. By the way, folks, the after show will be over on Mindless Entertainment. We're going to be having some fun over there. Jesse, what are we going to be talking about?
We are talking about our relationship. It's going to be a very personal stream tonight, a little outside of the normal, but it has been 360, I guess 7 days. We had a leap year in there since you and I started dating.
That's true.
And we're just going to, look back on that year.
So
I
if you
called
wanna...
it.
Oh,
Anna
you did.
Anna did. It's true.
So there you go, folks. If you want a more personal look at us, the people, the fandom menace that make up these channels, there you go. Link's been in the chat for a while. You can follow it and subscribe over to Mindless Entertainment. I pop up all those streams, twice a week?
Yep.
So yeah, it's like the auxiliary, my auxiliary channel. You ever want to know what I'm up to? Watch over there. You'll actually get to see what we're up to.
It's true.
So let's see. Let's get caught up on these super chats, and then let's put this baby to bed. So Drake is 6 says Hulu MASH reruns and Venture Brothers. So that's what you watch on Hulu. I need to get into the Venture Brothers. I have a friend who's a friend with one of the voice actors. So this is like a long time ago friend, not somebody I met out here. But I never got into MASH. Anybody here in the panel or Jesse, you watch?
Yeah, I like MASH.
Oh, you ever watch MASH?
Not really.
Yeah, never been for me. It was always it's time to go to bed when MASH is on because the Simpsons were over. So
I don't know. I got robbed the entire box set.
I haven't seen
Dude.
that in years. It's been like probably 30 years since I've seen an episode.
I will say this is a prank about 8 Christmases ago. I told my mom I bought her favorite TV show on DVD, and she's like, first she's thinking like, I don't really want a TV show on DVD. So for weeks I kept telling her it's MASH, 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 and she's like, she didn't have the nerve to tell me she didn't like it, and I just used that as the fake gift. It was really a box set of Keeping Up Appearances, which is this old British show, which she did love, but MASH has always been like the running joke, like what I get you for Christmas, the MASH box set. So that's what I always tell her. Macy Van Dusen says, I don't watch TV. I don't stream. I just watch my discs and VHS tapes. That's all. And good night, everybody. Live long and prosper.
Good night.
Good night, Macy Van Dusen. We'll see you on the flip side. Obi-Wan 27883, thank you for your giant super chat. I'll read it again, though. He says, on Disney Plus, new rentals. How are they going to buy their own tickets with their marketing budget a la Captain Wavel? With having to have that many subs counts. Totally not sustainable with the investors. Visibility to losses will be apparent. Yeah, you were right when you sent that in. I do agree. How are you going to get away with anything? And paid subscribers versus they are announcing paid subscribers now. Because remember, the whole Verizon deal was always like, oh, that counts as a subscriber. But now they're officially announcing paid subscribers. So it's good that they have to be held accountable. That's what's most important with Disney. Hold them accountable.
Well, they've got the numbers, which is great. That part worked out for them. Nobody's denying that. But what I think that we're learning is what I was saying before was, it's not sustainable. It doesn't make, and this is why Netflix is always like constantly you hear stories about them paying like late, and they're always behind on payments to said studio for whatever reason, because they spend all their money up front and they have no capital, and so they wait for when your subscription comes in, your money comes in to pay off the bills. Like they're literally living like hand to fist, or however you want to put it, over there at Netflix. It's never been a real sustainable platform yet. And they're worldwide. So I mean, they're still struggling in certain areas. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're big and they have capital and whatnot, but it's constantly, fluctuating from here to there and paying for this or that or the other. Their big $1 billion production budget they got.
Yeah, we always cover the Netflix stuff because they're in debt all the time. They spend so much on content, and not a lot of that content's worth my time. So Diego Flores, thank you very much. He says, what Anna is talking about is what happened with every limited edition Warhammer 40K box before GW came in and said, F you scalpers, they're going made to order, which is a Games Workshop, I think is what GW stands for. I like that idea, though. Scalpers are, I don't want to call them the worst thing ever because sometimes they're beneficial, but companies nowadays are paying attention to what scalpers do. And so, for example, Spider-Man. There was this thing called Pizza Spider-Man. It's just a Spider-Man figure that came with a slice of pizza, but people called it that. It was really popular. For years, it was people were selling it for double and triple price. Then a couple years later, Hasbro releases the same figure with a slightly different color blue, and it really cuts down on scalping. So I like when companies pay attention to that because it hurts them. I know I have a listener named Ryan, shout out to him. Rogue is one of the hardest X-Men figures to find. Dude's like, I got an extra one, send it to me. And they keep making other Rogue figures. So companies are paying attention to this, Diego, and it's smart because it helps the consumer out more than anything. Obi-Wan 27883, thank you very much again. He says Brie Larson did a pretty good job at singing in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. She hadn't run her mouth yet either. I forgot she's in that movie.
I've never seen it.
It's fun. For as much as I don't like Michael Cera, I like Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Grandmaster Chris says a little bit of the bubbly. Well, thank you very much, Grandmaster Chris, for your super chat. Maybe I'll take it and buy a little bit of the bubbly. I should have got one of those when I had the chance. By the way, what I'm talking about, Anna, that wrestler, he had his own bottle of champagne, or own line of champagne come out. So, yeah. He made a joke after he won the world title. He's like, oh, what do they got? A little bit of the bubbly. And the meme caught on. And like, I think 2 or 3 weeks later, the dude's selling champagne and made I think he sold 10,000 bottles of his own champagne. So that was pretty quick. 6 Turning 4 Burning, thank you very much. He says, I collect stuff that I like. If you like it, collect it. But pop gay. 6 Turning 4 Burning, I agree. That is the case. Yes, pop gay. But yeah, if you like it, collect it. No shaming. We joke, no kink shaming on this channel unless that's your kink. But realistically, collect what you like. If you want to collect Star Wars, My Little Pony, Back to the Future, Marvel, whatever, just go collect it. Enjoy your shit. Enjoy your hobby. Life's too short to draw battle lines in the fandom. And if you collected this thing, you're not part of the crew. Screw it. Just do what you like and come back for more. That's all. Culture Casino, thank you very much for your unicorn sticker. Greatly appreciated. Jeffrey Turner says the burn mecha was towards her burn on Brie Larson earlier. Thank you. We did read that. Chevy Blaze says, Jeff, have you had a chance to watch The Muppets? I have not yet, Chevy Blaze, because I've been out of town celebrating the anniversary. So there's a new Muppet show on Disney Plus.
Oh.
Yeah, I've watched regular Muppets, Anna. I mean, Great Muppet Caper was one of my favorite movies. No, dude, I love Great Muppet Caper, The Muppet Movie, and Muppet Babies are 3 of my favorite things from growing up. So, Jeffrey Turner Mega Jetty 1 says, got a 2XL Baby Yoda t-shirt with 70s font for $8. That seems kind of cheap for Baby Yoda stuff to be fairly new. Mega Jetty 1 says, if I'm available, can I be a part of the Beverly Hills Cop stream? Mega Jetty 1, I got to say maybe, because I do have, with the guests lined up, we had a couple of things that we did want to cover. Ask me on Thursday, and I'll see what's up to make sure all the guys are going to be there from the show. Don't want to say outright no, but I got to make sure. I got to see what's up with the thing. So I don't want to get your hopes up either and bullshit you either. And then finally, our friend Adam Wofford. Thank you very much, Adam. He says, hold on, because the window popped up. So Japan has built a 25-foot tall walking Gundam. So who's up for a Gundam heist? But only one person can be its pilot, and it's Joe Exotic, so he can scale us from save us from 2020.
Wouldn't we need the Gundam to break Joe Exotic out of prison and then to use it to kill Carol Baskin?
Did you guys hear Carol Baskin charges $299 on Cameo to make a personalized message?
What the fuck?
Yeah, and apparently they estimate she made like $20,000 the first day she was on there.
Holy hell.
Yeah, unfortunately, history has been kind to that bitch Carol Baskin so far.
Dude, like, that's the one thing in the documentary. He's like, she's an evil bitch, but he's like, she's fucking smart.
Yep, she's a conniving evil bitch.
Indeed, she is.
Kind.
She's like the perfect, like, villain in a way. Like, like when you have like a dude villain, he's like the twisting the mustache. She's like that, but like the female version.
Yeah.
We had so much fun at her expense this year. Folks, go watch Jesse's Carol Baskin video.
It's called Blame Carol Baskin.
Because that's what you should do, is blame Carol Baskin.
Anna and Tom are both in it.
Yes, I am.
As well as me.
As well as Jeff.
Carol Baskin.
She broke my taco.
What a bitch. I think I asked Mecca, but I guess, but you know, Mecca's just too important for me. It's cool.
She's afraid. Well, the thing is, she would have threatened Carol Baskin with her whip and riding crop, so she doesn't want to get.
She never saw it, so I think she asked me what the hell it was, if I remember.
We'll allow it just this once.
Our final super chat of the night comes from Snell World. Thank you very much. Fraggle Rock is greater than the Muppets. JFK shot first.
Oh
no.
Poor JFK. I
don't know what the fuck to say to either one of those things. that is wrong on both accounts.
Neither thing is true.
Yes,
There-
neither thing is true. Yeah.
Fraggle Rock does have a great theme song, though.
Yes, it
And
does.
the Fraggle Rock. So, folks, we have reached the end of the High Council. We had a 3-hour show, fantastic show. I want to thank everyone tonight for making it so hugely successful. We had like 1,400 people watching. I want to give a shout out to people like Obi-Wan 27883. Also want to thank Craft75, Tim Riggs, Swinging Cod, everybody tonight. Andy Lee, Dale, no matter what. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. The Fandom Menace, it's funny. The show started out with, you guys are on this hate group list, this, that, and the other. And you know what? Somebody come back, listen to the show, look at the strength of the community. We're going nowhere anytime soon. And we just keep getting better and better. And it's all because of you guys. So before we head out tonight, Anna, where can everyone find you on the internet?
Over at That Star Wars Girl on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and actually our weekly show, me and Jesse, who is on the other end of Jeff's microphone, do a weekly show on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And so it's tomorrow. It's episode 13.
Ooh,
And
lucky
I
number.
think it's on my channel, right, Jesse?
Yep, on your channel tomorrow.
Okay, cool. So I'll be live streaming tomorrow. I will be awake and we will be on time, kind of.
We will. Well,
Mecca, where can we find you on the internet?
I am MechaRandom42. I have a channel. I sometimes stream games at night or over on Twitch at RandomGameUser42. I hang out with Tom. He follows me everywhere.
You're following me.
You follow me first.
You first.
I know. I don't even remember anymore. It's Rob's fault. We'll just blame him.
Yeah, we'll blame
Just
Rob.
fire him
We'll just
again.
follow Rob around.
And Creepy Little Book. We do paranormal stuff. Oh, I'm going to probably have the Brie Larson Basmati Blues review up tomorrow. There is a Rob warning. You have been warned. Rob is in this video. just the review, not the trailer reaction. Trailer reaction's already up. Go check that out.
Tom, where can everyone find you? On
You can find me. Well, I suppose I should do this as Kermit because everybody was giving me some love for that.
All right, do it.
Well, you can find me at Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark. And the rest of the crew. Not Piggy, though. Piggy's not there. No.
Folks, you can find me here on this channel almost every day. I'm going to be getting back to making more videos. Last week, we recorded a ton of Patreon content and bonus stuff. So if you're like, Jeff, we didn't hear from you much last week. Well, it's GoldenEye week on the channel. So over on Patreon, we have our GoldenEye retrospective as well as our commentary and a bunch of other stuff. Been super busy. And by the way, the books get mailed tomorrow. The first couple hundred are going out already ready. Jesse helped me prepare them. So check your mailboxes soon. Stealing Soul will be there. And, towards the end of the year, aka maybe close to the end of the month, we'll have an opportunity to get that again. So from all of us folks here on the channel, we appreciate everyone. Fandom Menace says good night. But most importantly, folks, always be excellent to each other.